of the student body for Kenyatta University. It has coincided with the recent announcement that Kenyatta University was ranked the first university in Kenya. And it is gratifying that you've continued to showcase maturity in the conducting of the elections by the student body to ensure that everything is done in accordance with the law. And for some of us who have been coming here, this is now my 6th or so year, more than 6 years now, presiding over the swearing in of student government. It gives me great gratification to note that from the time I came or I started this exercise, there have been very little or no disruption of the electoral process, because I believe the student body understands that there will always be losers and winners in an election. So congratulations to the new team that is coming in, but more so, congratulations to the outgoing team. You have shown exemplary attitude by conceding and accepting plainly and openly here that the elections that were conducted were done fairly, it was very viable, and it was above board. And I think for the university administration, it gives you credit because you've allowed the students to organize themselves and run this electoral process efficiently. And that one brings in acceptance, and it also shows that when you win or lose, you'll always accept the results as they come. So thank you very much, and I also want to thank the university administration, and especially the commissioners, both the student commissioners and the staff commissioners for KUSA, who then conducted the elections in a fair manner, and everybody, I believe, is happy. So congratulations, Dr. Oyo. You've been heading this thing now for 5 years, and I've been with you every time I come to swear in the student government. I remember Professor Washeke asking me, you have now become a permanent feature coming to Kenyatta University, and I'm happy to do it because it gives me one reason. I mentioned this exercise in one of the applications I did for some position, and I said it is more like rendering community service. And I'm happy that this community service we're rendering here is being appreciated and recognized by the students as well as the management. Thank you very much. So I'll go straight to the swearing in of the student government and allow the program to run as quickly as possible so that we can disengage from here and the student leaders can start afresh the exercise of leading their colleagues. Thank you.
Kasim Haral, on being elected a member of the Student Governing Council, do solemnly swear that I will at all times be faithful to the Kenyatta University Student Association, that I will obey, respect, and uphold the Constitution of Kenyatta University Students Association and all other laws of the Republic of Kenya, that I will well and truly serve the students of Kenyatta University in office of an elected member of Students Governing Council in the position of Organizing Secretary for Social Welfare and Co-Curricular Activities, that I undertake to hold my office with honor and dignity, that I will not divulge direction or indirectly such matters as shall come to my knowledge in the discharge of my duties and committed to my secrecy except as may be required for due discharge of my duties, and that I will perform the function of my office consciously and to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Makofi, 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 makofi. Congratulations, congratulations.
While Mr. Arale is signing, may I call on Aisha Mohammed
Mwachizo, on being elected a member of the Student Governing Council, do swear that I will at times be faithful to the Kenyatta University Students Association, that I will obey, respect, and uphold the Constitution of Kenyatta University Students Association and all other laws of the Republic of Kenya, that I will well and truly serve the students of Kenyatta University in the office of an elected member of the Student Governing Council in the position of Gender and Special Needs Secretary, that I undertake to hold my office with honor and dignity, that I will not divulge directly or indirectly such matters as shall come to my knowledge in the discharge of my duties and committed to my secrecy, except as may be required for the due discharge of my duties, and that I will perform the functions of my office conscientiously and to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Congratulations, congratulations.
Sorry about that.
Thank you, thank you. You can approach the Commissioner of Oath so that you can proceed and sign.
Seyan, on being elected a member of the Student Governing Council, do swear that I will at all times be faithful to Kenyatta University Students Association, that I will obey, respect, and uphold the Constitution of Kenyatta University Students Association and all other laws of the Republic of Kenya, that I will well and truly serve the students of Kenyatta University in the office of an elected member of the Student Governing Council in the position of the Academic Secretary, that I will undertake to hold my office with honor and dignity, that I will not divulge directly or indirectly such matters as shall come to my knowledge in the discharge of my duties and committed to my secrecy except as be required for the due discharge of my duties, and that I will perform the functions of my office conscientiously and to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Congratulations, congratulations. Thank you.
Civic body deviators, on being elected a member of the Student Governing Council, do swear that I will all times be faithful to the Kenyatta University Students Association, that I will obey, respect, and uphold the Constitution of the Kenyatta University Students Association and all other laws of the Republic of Kenya, and I will well and truly serve the students of Kenyatta University in the office of an elected member of the Student Governing Council in the position of Treasurer, that I undertake to hold my office with honor and dignity, and I will not divulge directly or indirectly such matters as shall come to my knowledge in the discharge of my duties and committed to my secrecy except as may be required for the due discharge of my duties, and that I will perform the functions of my office conscientiously and to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Makofi ya Treasurer.
I, Jasper Bam Ogeno Amoko, on being elected a member of the Student Governing Council, do swear that I will at all times be faithful to the Kenyatta University Students Association, that I will obey, respect, and uphold the Constitution of Kenyatta University Students Association and all other laws of the Republic of Kenya, that I will well and truly serve the students of Kenyatta University in the office of an elected member of Student Governing Council in the position of Secretary General, that I will undertake to hold my office with honor and dignity, that I will not divulge directly or indirectly in such matters as shall come to my knowledge in the discharge of my duties, and committed to the secrecy except as may be required for the due discharge of my duties, that I will perform the functions of my office conscientiously and to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Rachel Makarias Ndeto, on being elected a member of the Student Governing Council, do swear that I will at all times be faithful to the Kenyatta University Student Associations, that I will obey, respect, and uphold the Constitution of Kenyatta University Student Associations and all other laws of the Republic of Kenya, that I will well and truly serve the students of Kenyatta University in the office of an elected member of the Student Governing Council in the position of the Vice Chairperson, that I undertake to hold my office with honor and dignity, that I will not divulge directly or indirectly such matters as shall come to my knowledge in the discharge of my duties, and committed to my secrecy except as may be required for the due discharge of my duties, and that I will perform the functions of my office consistently and to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Congratulations, Rachel. You know, we have to give him visibility one step.
Samuel Karanja, on being elected as a member of the Student Governing Council, do swear that I will at all times be faithful to the Kenyatta University Students Association, and that I will obey, respect, and uphold the Constitution of Kenyatta University Students Association, and all other laws of the Republic of Kenya, that I will well and truly serve the students of Kenyatta University in the office of an elected member of the SGC in the position of chairperson, that I will undertake to hold my office with honor and dignity, that I will not divulge directly or indirectly such matters as I shall come to my knowledge in the discharge of my duties, and committed to the secrecy except as may required for the due discharge of my duties, and I will perform the functions of the office conscientiously and to the best of my abilities. So help me God.
Thank you very much for the escort. We now kindly request take our seats and remain with the members of the Student Governing Council on stage. Sawa, sawa. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Just remain still. Commissioner of Oaths, please congratulate these members. Congratulations, congratulations. Let me invite the VC representative, Professor Okemo, and members of management present, please come and congratulate these members. Makofi are members of management. Makofi, Makofi. I can own the paper so that you're able to get good greetings. Congratulations. Yes, please shake their hands. Thank you. Congratulations, congratulations. Thank you, our members of management, for that warm congratulations. Maybe you want a photo with them? Okay.
All right. Good morning. I bet you're also in a celebration mood, a mood of welcoming in new leaders. That is Kenyatta University welcoming in the new leadership. I hope you're doing well. Trust your morning is coming along so nicely compared to last week. Today is quite a warm morning. If you're an early bird, I bet you saw the beautiful sunrise. My name is SYLVIA ANYANGO. Welcome to Biashara Tuesday, a show that keeps you updated on matters business, a show that keeps you on the game in matters business, entrepreneurship, in matters leadership. How do you invest? How do you become a better business person? Whether you're just starting up or you're a veteran in your field, this is the show for you. I'm excited this morning because in that spirit of celebration and inauguration and handing over the tools of power, so much is happening in East Africa, or generally, so much is happening in the world, and we'll get to know about that when we get to review our newspapers. But before I give you what is happening on the newspapers, allow me introduce to you what we'll be having this morning on the lounges, the discussions that we shall be having this morning. We shall be having a conversation on the truth about awards, artistry, and exploitation. It is a time we're heading towards the season where there are a lot of pictures of red carpets and people holding trophies, and you know, the congratulations messages, and you know, the thank you Kenya for voting for me, I couldn't have done this without you. So that is a conversation that we are having this morning. When recognition becomes a business, we'll understand what is it in this, why are we having this awards session, and who benefits from this award session? Is it the organizers, is it the artists or the contestants, or is it the partners that come in to sponsor this advertisement? How do we ensure that the artists are not exploited in terms of being given a platform? You know, if you're an artist, you've heard of that thing that, you know, we are giving you a platform, but where is the balance between the two? Where do we separate the business and recognition of talent or recognition of excellence? Joining us this morning will be Bernard Simanto, who is the CEO of Jamhuri Kenya Awards. And this is a man who has transitioned very fast in the industry of award session, not just with the Jamhuri Kenya Awards. We also have the Independent Kenya Independent Kenya Women Awards, an award that I won earlier this year. If you're keen on this show, you know that is something that we brought home as the emerging female media personality of the year 2025. So we'll be understanding more into this award. Should we call it business or recognition? At the end of the show, you'll have an answer to that question or that mystery. That will be on the first launch, a discussion on the awards industry in the country. And also we'll be having a conversation centered on demystifying real estate investment trust, especially for the young people. And if you are in Kenya also, you know that the real estates, or if you're talking about the tycoons of the nation, the billionaires of the nation, the millionaires of the nation, most of them you'll hear them saying, I'm in real estates. What are you doing? I'm in real estates. So how do we differentiate this from wash? Because in the country we know that it is a time when most of the laundered money zinaoshwa to the system through real estates. And how do small businesses survive in this? Because you'll get someone having like 100 million just lying around, and they just throw money around. So how do young businesses survive in this? A young person who wants to invest in real estates, how do they survive in such crucial environment or harsh environments where there are those who don't care about taxes and all that? They just want to wash the money back to the system. So we'll be delving more into the real estate investment trust. How effective is that? And joining us will be John Asio, who is a relationship manager at VUCA Investment Club, a team that is making real estate accessible to the young people. We'll also be joined by a young mind who is trying to venture into this kind of investment, and that will be Ella Waweru, who will be telling us how easy or hard is it for a young person to venture into real estate. So after we are done with celebrating your excellence, we'll now venture into, now you want to invest in real estates. How do you get how do you get your foot rooted on the field? Those are the discussions that we'll be having this morning on the launches. And of course, we'll also have a discussion on the newspaper review, and that will be talking about the state of our nation. Just to give a brief headlines of what we have on our newspapers this morning. We have the Standard, the bold newspaper. They have given prominence to Tanzania, and they're saying a bloody crown. This follows the swearing in of Tanzanian President Samia Suluhu, and we saw her swearing in happening at a highly guarded stadium, military stadium, and only invited guests were allowed in. So Standard is calling the crown a bloody crown. They're having several pictures of short bodies lying on the ground or piled on the ground. And they're saying that apart from Zambia's Hakinde, who's on a rise from jail cell under Edgar Lungu, mirrors Tanzania's Tundu Lissu. Most of the leaders who flocked to Dodoma for President Samia Suluhu swearing carried the same tarnish. Among them was Kenya's Deputy President, that is Professor Kithure Kindiki, hardened by last year's Gen Z protest and left scores dead. So that is just a comparison of what is happening in the countries. Remember, in East Africa, we have, if you're in social media, the young generation are really calling out the three countries, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. Uganda having the elections early 2026, that is in January. Tanzania have just had theirs, and Kenya will be having theirs in 2027. So zinafuatana, and everyone is saying that, we don't want dictators. So who is the dictator really? Because we had a voter turnout of 98% in Tanzania. So in Kenya, the Star, looking at the Star, they are giving us a political headline. They are saying Gachagua to back Kalonzo, Natembeya and Matiang'i lineup. And this they are saying, if you read the Star, you'll get to understand that they are currently having a formation of Rigathi Gachagua supporting Kalonzo Musyoka to hold the power, that is as the president, and then George Natembeya to serve as his deputy. If Kalonzo takes office, Gachagua takes 50% of power. I don't know how that will happen, because technically he will not be having any positions. So if Kalonzo takes power, Gachagua will be having 50% of power. Then the likes of Eugene Wamwala and Martha Karua to take the Senate and Parliament speakers. So that is on power distribution on this grand coalition. And yesterday we had them present united candidates for the Mbeere North and the Magarini constituency, where they're presenting united candidates, that as a precursor of what is to happen in 2027. So that is given prominence on the Star. On the People Daily, they're saying how coalition politics shapes Kenya's future. And this is despite the death of Raila Odinga. Remember, the president said that right now he's not having an opponent. And we are having, in Kenya, for you to win election, you need 50% plus one vote. So that is technically not possible if you run as an independent candidate for presidency. That's why we're having several coalitions in the country to attain that 50% plus one vote. So this, they're giving an explanation on how this is going to be affecting Kenya's election in the near future, or it's already affecting Kenya's election. And also we'll be asking this question throughout the newspaper review: is Raila Odinga going to affect the 2027 elections despite his death? Like at his grave, is he going to affect the 2027 election? You tell us that on the comment section. The Daily Nation saying buried alive, and this is talking about the Elgeyo Marakwet landslide that has claimed at least 30 lives so far, this being the 4th day since it began. And this is affecting those people who are living along the borders of Kenya and Uganda, that is around the Mount Elgon and Elgeyo Marakwet. So if you're living in those areas, you might as well want to move to a safer ground. That is on the Daily Nation. Taifa Leo is also talking about Tanzania, saying Suluhu, wageni walileta fujo Tanzania. And I don't know why Wakenya mnajishuku on this, because mama hakutaja mtu. She just say that, Tanzania, we are peaceful. Those people who caused chaos in the country are not from Tanzania. I don't know why Kenyans you're mnajishuku. But we'll get to understand that as we talk about the newspaper. So that story is given prominence on the Taifa Leo. The Business Daily talks about Mbadi sparking Consolidated Bank CEO, Director Oster, and this is after the disagreement with the bank CEO. And this has raised alarm, and it has now gotten to a place where they are now going to court. That why are you can't just fire us like that because you're a cabinet secretary. So that story is given prominence on the Business Daily. Another interesting story on the Business Daily is Munga's wife blocks auction of 640 million Britam shares, and this follows the directive to auction the farm, and the wife saying that, you know what, I also have shares, the matrimonial shares, I have that, and because you're punishing my husband, you cannot do that because I also have shares in that. So that's an interesting story. And also remember, on the same, in terms of on matters matrimony, remember President William Ruto, I think it was a day before yesterday, saying that the young people, you should not run away from responsibilities, because you should not, by saying running away from responsibilities, he meant running away from marriage. So sometimes it helps on matters like this. That is on the Business Daily. The Financial Standard says state appetite for debt grows despite public-private partnership deals. And remember, as this administration was coming in, the best option to handle so much of recurrent debts with parastatals and public institutions was to do mergers and partnerships with the private sector. And this apparently is fueling debts in the country. This I will tell you when we are doing the newspaper review. The Daily Monitor says traders Suham KCCA over floods. That is a story that is across our borders. Of course, that is Tanzania. So let's just focus on what is happening in our country. The Financial Standard, Business Daily, Taifa Leo, Daily Nation, People Daily, The Star, and The Standard, of course. So that is on what we shall be having on the newspaper review on matters state of our nation. At this point, I want us to take a look at what is happening on the roads and, of course, the weather situation in different cities across the country. (32 minutes past the hour. And I'm looking at the traffic situation in tributaries leading to Nairobi Central Business District. To begin from where we are right now, it is in Thika Road. Of course, we are coming to you live from Kenyatta University main campus. Looking at Thika Road, from Muthaiga interchange, that is the Pangani interchange, we are having those people going to town. Kidogo mtaka hapo for some time. Mtakapo for some minutes because there is heavy traffic along the Pangani interchange. This is affecting those coming from Kiambu Road. That is expected. It is always happening every morning. So it eases up as you go backwards, but from Safari Park all the way to Outer Ring Road, that is Allsops. If you're using that route, trust me, you're going to be staying on the roads for quite some time. Those using the Outer Ring Road is looking quite okay. Those coming from the Eastern Bypass along the Airport Road, if you're using that road joining to Mombasa Road, pia wewe utaketi hapo for some time. This is affecting those people coming from Embakasi Pipeline joining that road. You'll also be staying on that route for a while. Looking at Mombasa Road, if you're using the expressway, you're going to be getting to town very fast. But if you're using the Mombasa Road, the normal route, you're going to be staying on that road for a while. Those people coming from Langata Road, wale watu wanatoka Ngong, I'm looking at traffic in those areas looking quite okay, except when you're coming through Douglas Wakihiru Road, joining through Mombasa Road. That is where there is a little bit of slowdown. Looking at other roads leading to town, not so much to report on. Apparently people are working from town today, so those are the only major roads that I'm seeing they're having or receiving heavy traffic this morning. Thika Road, Eastern Bypass, and those coming from Langata Road. So if you're using other tributaries leading to town, you're okay. Looking at the traffic situation this morning, I am looking at let's begin from this is the weather situation in Kisumu from the lake. Right now it is 20 degrees Celsius. It feels like 22 degrees Celsius, and throughout the day no sign of precipitation. So in Kisumu it is going to be a cloudy day. Taking a look at the northern part of Kenya, it is 26 degrees Celsius right now. It feels like 28 degrees Celsius, and definitely no sign of rainfall in the northern parts of Kenya. And if I look at the Rift Valley region, that is in Eldoret, it is 16 degrees Celsius, quite cold, feeling like 15 degrees Celsius, but throughout the day, there is 0% chances of precipitation. So it's just going to be a chilly day, but with no sign of precipitation. The coastal region, looking at Mombasa, 26 degrees Celsius, almost the same as the northern part of Kenya, feeling like 29 degrees Celsius, perfect weather for your holiday. If you are going for a vacation, it is perfect weather for you. No sign of a rainfall throughout the day. That is a very warm weather in the coastal part of Kenya. And coming back here in Nairobi, currently it is 17 degrees Celsius and it feels like 16 degrees Celsius. They're telling us there was 20% chances of rainfall from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. So that is just a little bit. But otherwise, throughout the rest of the day, it's just going to be cloudy and a warm weather. This is going to be warm until the early weekends. But as we go through the weekend, zile mvua nyingi will come back again. So that is according to the Kenya Met Department. In Nairobi, it's going to be warm hadi around Friday hapo. So kama unapanga kuvaa the chill clothes, it's the right time. But from the weekend going forward, there'll also be an increasing amount of rainfall. So that is on the weather situation in the country. We are going to be taking a very short break. When we come back, we shall be coming back with the discussions on what is the truth about words, artistry, and exploitation. Where is the line between the three? So that is coming up shortly after the break.
wake, ukatili na kumfanya mwenye bidii. Kwa machozi na makeke akabaini jinsi ya kuwini. Huyu ni mwanamke ngangari kwa jinsi alivyo ng'ari. Mimi ni mwanamke mwake. Usikose kutazama kipindi cha mwanamke mwake nami Caroline Kimwele.
Ninakukaribisha rasmi kwenye Mitindo ya Kipwani, kipindi kinachokuza utamaduni wa Kipwani, nikikuletea mazungumzo ya moja kwa moja na wataalamu, vyakula vilivyopikwa na kukorombezwa, viungo mwake vya Kipwani, ngoma zetu za asilia za Kimijikenda, bila kusahau tarabu na chakacha. Yaani wanawake Uswahilini watakuwa wakinengua na kuzungusha viuno kama panga boy za trekta ndani ya Mitindo ya Kipwani KUTV, ukiletewa moja kwa moja kutoka Salama Bling Beach Resort kila Jumamosi saa 10 jioni na Jumapili saa 4 usiku, ukiwa nami mtamu wako zaidi ya asali. Mimi naitwa Waridi Tamu. Mpenzi mtazamaji, usipitwe na matamu.
Hats off. Thank you. Good afternoon. I had a lot to say, especially in my speech, a very poetic one, maybe one that you'd think would move you, but I've been challenged today, hearing from what our predecessors have talked. They've talked from their heart, being somebody who is very familiar with Glenn Karani since the first day in this school. We are classmates. And last year I stood on this podium cheering him. I don't think there's anything better than him cheering me here today in this occasion. But today I want to have a dialogue with you. And maybe perhaps you might take note or take lessons. This team is called Imara. Imara means upright. And we've done service to Kenyatta University that will outlive us. For a long time, the Commission can attest, and those ones who have been in the game for years can say, their biggest challenge are cartels. People who don't want to leave Kenyatta University politics. And it's always said, nyinyi ndo mnaletanga hao wazee, mnawarudishanga siasa. As Imara, we made a bold step. Well, you might not have seen me in any presser. I might not have organized a maandamano, but it was an act of bravery in itself to form a team for students and by students to work for Kenyatta University Students Association. We mean, and listen carefully, if it doesn't scare you or change how you view things that I'm Secretary General, then let Imara be a lesson that I can do what I say I will do. We can do what we say we will do. We are not scared. If you think Imara is weak, look how far we've come. Comrades, I have lived and I've said, BSSC is not a home for elders, so is Nyayo Flats. Elders must go. Elders must go. I've seen my friend somewhere. He will go. At least for 1 year, kutakuwa na kiangazi. So we did service to Kenyatta University. We have set a precedence to this institution that it is possible to start to live your dream from the time of inception. That you can build a coalition with the best and the most polished of team members in Kenyatta University. And you can win an election with that team. And over the next 12 months, we will prove the team can also perform. Congratulations to every delegate who was there in the college, to every congressperson. And this dialogue we must have is not just because of the delegates who voted us. Most of the time, I'm very interested in speaking to the congresses, every person who will work in that 21st Congress. Because there's one thing, I am your Secretary General. I'm not a Secretary General for delegates only. I demand compliance, and for that, I always demand one thing, cooperation. Myself, I championed very hardly for the constitutional review from a point of conviction, because that is not what I promised people in Kenyatta University, but that is what I promised people from School of Architecture. We have systemic flaws that we must speak about. Whether I was alone or not, what is right, and I stood firm. It is not going to stop anytime soon. And it was a long fight, it was a big one. But some things were done, some we are yet to do, and some hopefully will be done in due course. Today it's not just, we are just sitting here to condemn administration. I want us to reflect, look at yourself. How far do you go in looking for accountability within your own jurisdiction? As students, I cannot perform without you. You must be vigilant in your own spaces. We have a dialogue.
Welcome back. If we are seated, you know it's about to get down with matters, discussions, like deep discussions on matters that concern you as a business person or as an entrepreneur. In this case, we are majorly talking about artistry, and it's not just about artistry, because I've seen companies win awards and all that. So we are joined this morning by Bernard Simanto, who is the CEO Jamhuri Kenya Awards, and he'll be helping us expose how the creative industry works uko backdoor. So here is to behind the scenes to awards events or the awards ceremonies or recognitions in the country and beyond. Kindly allow me to allow our guest in studio introduce himself to you. Thank you, Bernard. Karibu.
Well, asante. Yeah, I'm Bernard Simanto. Many people know me as Babu Mtekova. I'm the CEO and founder Jamhuri Kenya Awards and Independent Kenya Women Award. But apart from that, I'm a youth advocate. I'm a leader. Yeah, that's what I do mostly. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I love it. One thing I love about this show is that I get to see the vision, the zeal, you know, that intrinsic motivation in the young people. They want to bring change to the society. How has it been like for you managing this industry? Considering you've had bigger awards companies in the country, you have Tukuza and all that zingine, they came up and then later on they failed. So as a young person, how are you navigating through this industry?
I believe every person uanze something with a purpose and with a vision. Mine, it was somehow unique because before I used to be an artist, and through that journey sikuwaipata platform ya kupewa platform ya kushowcase what I have. So I just decided, why can't I sacrifice the vision I have so that I can have a platform that can give other young people opportunity to showcase what they have. So I decided to start organizing events in terms of nilikuwa naita mtaa kwa mtaa talent shows, so young people can showcase wenye wako na talent, wenye wako na comedy, wasanii, vitu kama hizo, modeling. So even ndivyo ilianza, because remember nilikuwa nakosa interview venye nyime tupa platform hapa, sikuwa napata venye ukienda umeimba unatafuta show huko unapata. So I just decided, no, I'm going to start a platform ya kupea vijana platform. After started that platform, it'll take like 1 year. I come to notice, so as much as I'm giving these people platform to showcase their talents, there's still a gap. I did a research. In Kenya, we don't have a national award. Unaweza ukasema kwamba this is a national award that recognizes, honors and celebrates people on what they are doing. Kuna watu wanafanya tu kazi kutoka kwa roho. They just doing it because like they see there's something they need to do. That's the moment I started Jamhuri Kenya Awards back in 2022 with one purpose. If you go to the business side, wakona award yao, just an independent award that covers only for business. If you go to leadership, there's those awards that covers only for leadership. The same thing applies to hizo sectors zingine. But I said, if you go out there, you'll find youths areas zao kwa miaka 5 itaisha kama hajaipatana na leader wake. Kuna mtu ataka miaka 5 anasikenga SYLVIA wa KUTV hajaimpata, but anamonanga tu kwa TV. Kuna mtu atasikia CEO either wa Equity ama CEO wa company fulani hajaimpata. So I said, we are going to come up in a different, unique way. One, bringing all these people together in one platform so that we can share ideas. We can come up with ideas on how we can collaborate, how CSR works, vitu kama hizo. But in that process, it's just to recognize, honor and celebrate those people who are doing a remarkable job in our community. So that's how we started, and that's how Jamhuri Kenya Awards was born.
Mm-hmm. That's brilliant. If I look at statistics, majorly on consultant companies and all that, most people, as they grow older or as they grow into their careers, they feel that the only way to feel valued is either you begin a consultancy. If you're a teacher, you begin maybe a teacher's consultancy. If you're in psychology, you begin your own firm. Like, everyone wants to begin their own firm. What does this say about the how people are valued? Because most of them feel undervalued under someone until they now want to create their own and lead others. That's when they feel like, okay, now I have value. How does this say about how artists are valued, especially in the country?
Okay, ina come in different angles. Utapata kuna mtu anaanza because ana feel kwamba if I'm working under someone, I don't sikui valued venye inafaa. So as much as ataanza yake, but remember itakuwa ina create pia opportunities for many. So I believe kwamba tukuna ile mentality kwamba kuna mtu fulani akianza kitu yake eti ni yake mwenyewe, but remember ameianza but ina accommodate watu wengi pia zaidi. So the more we have many, the more it will accommodate many, the more it will create job opportunities for many. So in that angle, I don't know whether nimeanza the right
so
thing.
It's not there's nothing like overcrowding the market when it comes to award sessions or companies.
Amna.
All right.
Yeah,
I get that, but I was thinking that if everyone is coming up with their own, awards, you have this award, this award, this award. Now, which one becomes like the key? The best of it all.
Nimekupa an example very simple sana. All awards zinafanyika Kenya, I know them, and majority of them, they are my friend. We normally talk, but if you go and do research, you can notice kwamba what we are doing sio kila award yote inafanya. you'll find kwamba we are covering all sectors in Kenya, from business, entrepreneurship, education, health, leadership, zote we cover them. But amna award ingine inafanya the same thing. Utapata there's an award doing mambo na music, only women in business, women in health, but zinafanya independently. So you can't judge someone because kuna awards mingi of which zimekuwa mingi of late. But now me as Babu, I know why I will come to KUTV and not the other one, because there's something KU is offering and the other maybe media is not offering. So it will accommodate many people, because in Kenya we have many media personalities, we have many CEOs, and each and every person wants to be recognized. So the more killer media or killer brand inakam na new thing in town, inakam in a different angle ama approach, na kuna aim tofauti, na kila mtu mwenye vision yake kuna kitu anataka pia, ama kuna market anataka kufikia. So I think like wacha zikuje.
Have you ever had a situation where someone is nominated and then they turn down the nomination?
Yeah.
How do you handle that?
Okay, ukiangalia the process yenye sisi kama Jamhuri Kenyans we normally use, first we have that a period where people can do nomination across the country. Apart from kufanya the nomination, we'll have like 14 days ya National Secretariat kufanya what we call vetting to confirm indeed kazi ya SYLVIA for the year 2024-2025 kama iko sawa, ni ukweli anafaa kuwa kwa nominees. Once we are done, we are going to send, first of all, before we publish to the public, we normally send to a nominee. I think even you received like, okay, you have to accept our nomination or decline. So once someone decline your nomination, you never know ni nini ili inspire kamua ku decline. So inaweza kuwa anafanya kazi nzuri, but at that moment she is not or he is not willing to participate. Nakwambia, for now I'm not willing to participate, but we normally expect that. But that doesn't not mean that kwamba itatuvunja moyo, ilipa ile morale kwamba at least we are doing something. Na si kila mtu atapenda kitu tutafanya, si kila mtu accept hata mtu kupigia, na si kila call unachukua haimaanishi kwamba yeah, so tunachukulia zote kama positive. Yeah.
Now let's talk about the business of awards, because we all know that exposure does not pay bills, and just having a good heart does not. We once had a conversation here with an NGO company from the United States, and they say they were helping the vulnerable in the society, and the real question was why? How is it from donations? What's the business aspect of it? So every venture, in as much as it comes from a good heart, there has to be monetary value. So let's talk about the business of awards. There's the part where partners come in. Talk to us before we get to the technicalities of this or the business aspect of it. As a young person, how easy or hard is it to get to approaching partners and getting them to, signing those deals and sealing those deals? How hard or easy is it for you as a young person? And what secret can you give to someone who is looking forward to getting partnerships, and especially if it's a young person?
Okay, for us, or for the current status we are in Kenya, it's very few companies that I can say I'm a partners were currently wanaweza come on board to support what you're doing, because unapata if you go to partners mtu anakuambia the economy it's not good, such things ni kitu tunaona pia. So inakuwa ngumu kwa young people wenye na grow kama sisi ku relies mostly in mambo na sponsorship and partners, because even if you are during our awarding it happened last year, you had no sponsors. Even this year so far ni all friends wale na grow, tunamwa okay guys come on board, we grow together. So challenges inakuanga in that angle ya sponsors and partners, because pia partners wetu wa Kenya ama sponsors wetu wa Kenya hawaja believe sana in mambo na events vitu kama hizo. And then also we as the event organizers atujeka bado still we are struggling kuweka zile value kwamba in a way that mtu akikam kuinvest on what you're doing anapata benefit either direct or indirect. So system ama structures ama policies zenye watu wameka when it comes to events or awards, bado watu the sponsors are believe in it, but still we are struggling to ensure kwamba things they are going to work kwenda hapa mbele. And that's why you find nimekuuliza very simple question before to on here, like ulishinda award yetu earlier this year June, ni nini umefeel imechange kwa life yako? That's an angle lenye tunataka kuleta partners on board kwamba like as much as we are coming on board, we have our winners wenye wanashinda award yetu. They can be your brand ambassadors, so that people feel it's not all about that day. We have before, during, and even after. So that is the approach we are trying to work on, so that going forward, someone mwenye anashinda award winner. Kitambo tulikuwa tunaona, if you go other countries, you'll find someone mwenye anashinda award winner, the moment tu ashatangazwa kama media personality, you can see anapata some endorsement, vitu kama hizo. But I don't know what happened to the economy ya saizi. People don't want to invest, but tunaendelea kuwork on the structure, system and policy, so that at least things can move smoothly. So to young people wenye wanakuja kwa hii space, it's all about believing in your vision, believing on what you are doing. So keep on pushing, keep on moving. Partners watajileta wenyewe.
Now, let's get into the partnership arena, because if I am coming to invest in something as a business, I'll have to, I definitely want to benefit from it, either directly or indirectly. So with the nominees or contestants coming in, how do you ensure that they're not exploited in the process of this, where maybe a company wants their products promoted, but then those who are contesting or those who are participating in it don't see value in it? How do you ensure that there is no exploitation, especially from the partners?
Come up again.
This is in this sense, maybe I am having I'm nominated, maybe as for this case, let's use the media personality of the year. And then we have a company coming in, and then, you know, during the whole event, the merchandise and all that I'm supposed to showcase and all that, but then I don't see the value in it, because this probably is happening at the event. I'm showcasing what they have, but then I don't get the value of it, simply because maybe I am a nominee, and that is a partner in that thing. So I, as a contestant, yes, I don't get the benefit of it, but they get the benefit of it when I post in my social media and all that. How do you ensure that there is no such exploitation between partners and the contestants?
Ndiapo nimesema, like I think going forward we need to work on the structures, policies na mambo na system, so that when we are doing all these in terms of bringing partners and sponsors on board or brands on board, to ensure kwamba a nominee also anaweza aka benefit, and the brand ambayo ina host inaweza ika benefit, the company ambayo ina come on board kusponsor or to kuwekeza hapo pia inaweza ika benefit. So inakuwa it's all parties can benefit. So that is why I've told you, like as the industry or as event organizers, there's where we are failing, but for us as Jamhuri Kenya tunataka kuleta hiyo structure and policy, and also kuensure kwamba zina work, so that kuensure our watu wana benefit. And that's why nimekuambia as Jamhuri Kenya watu as equal, kuna vitu tunataka kuangalia before, during and after. During, that's when we give these people publicity, but now after that, what's going to happen next? That's why we are coming up with a policy and structure and system in your, like can you partner, can you work with our award winners, so that peer award winners wetu feel there's values, you see, either on an individual level or organizations zenye zina participate with us, so that nilikuwa nimekuambia mambo na CSR. That's why we are bringing all these people together. Kuna watu organizations zenye zina participate kwa award yetu zinatoka kule mashinani, but also hapa kuna big companies, hizo CSR zinafaa kwenda kule. That's why unasema we must look all those three angles, before, during and after. So policies, structure na systems zikiwork, ata auto benefit.
If all goes well, things are going to be well.
Yeah.
Now Let's talk about the expectations.
Yeah.
Oh, we've already talked about the expectations. Now, when it comes to sustainability of these awards companies, and let's just call it awards venture.
Yeah.
Having partnerships is a problem.
Yeah.
So how do you sustain it? Because it's kind of a business.
Yeah.
You can't do this without funds.
Very true.
How do you sustain it?
Ukiangalia like us on how we work, one, we are not only just doing awards peke yake. We do a lot. We have special programs that runs under us. We have youths across the country that working under us. We normally do analysis, research, vitu kama hizo. So like we do programs za women, awareness za women across the country. So you find apart from it tunafanya wording, we have what we do. You see, so that's ndi natufanya tukuwe na hiyo sustainability ya the brand or the award, but also kuna kitu tunatoa kukama up nayo ya kuensure kwamba this is an award venye nimesema. We have young people wenye wako out there wenye like hawana platform, you see. So if today we are coming like Jamhuri Kenya Awards, we want to open a recording company. In recording a company, it's a place where if you have a show, you're going to get artists from us. If you want to do what we call a live performance, you can come to us. We are going to give you everything. Like we have people who can do that for you. Currently, we are doing what we call research. We can do research for either media, leaders, farms, vitu kama hizo. So utapata these young people, they have skills and everything, but wame lack platform, so they're under us. So going forward utapata ile kitu ndogo wanapata, so wanaweza jisustain na the company inaweza jisustain because we have good people out there, wamesoma, wako na skills, wako na kila kitu, but hakuna platform. But now ndio naona someone who is champion hii kitu ni just a young boy. So that's why tumeungana sisi pamoja, watu wenye wako na skills, vijana pale nje tunakuja pamoja, we are doing this. So it's one way ya kujitegemea sisi kama vijana.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Now, if I look at an award like Tukuza Awards, we had it come so big.
Yeah.
If you're in Kenya, you understand how big it was. People would cry and all that. But then it came and crashed. The reason being allegations that, pesa zinaibiwa, sijui contestants sijui hawajalipwa. There's so many politics surrounding money and the management.
Yeah.
How do you fight this narrative in someone's head? Because someone will be like, wanakula pesa yetu. How do you fight that narrative?
One, ni kuweka ile angle like people believe on what you're doing. One, venye nimesema there's no sponsorship out there. Kama ziko baby, azijatufikia watu kama sisi. So one, event yetu it's fully sponsored by the people. And that's why you find there's that 10 bob when you want to, they normally vote for one vote. So that 10 bob, it normally goes to serikali iko hapo, mambo na VAT, kuna Safaricom iko hapo, and then there's us. That covers mambo na logistics, vitu kama hizo. But in the mindset of the people, they know kwamba that money yenye nimevote nayo na watu wanakula. But in ile kitu yenye kwa ground, the reality on the ground is that kwamba we need to make people understand the money yenye inavotiwa inafanya nini, and then what does people expect. For us, we did a pilot, like I think you received our message, a token from us. We are trying to come na hizo vitu watu understand kwamba hii itafanya hii itakuwa hivi. We have seen some awards ziki happen, nasikia kulikuwa na scandal kwamba we were supposed to be given sijini 100,000 vitu kama hizo. Those are make fake promises. At the end of the day zikikosekana ndio nasikia watu walikula do fulani. So in Kenya, as we are speaking right now, we have one award pekee Kenya na piananga grand prize ambao ni Kalasha. But also Kalasha ni kitu ya government, but also inakuwa na issues pia. You have seen watu wakicomplain like hatujaipewa pesa, hatujaifanya vitu kama hizo. Now that is a government thing, you see. So ni kasumba iko, but maybe I'm hoping kwenda mbele it's going to change if still kwa policy structures na systems so that at least kila mtu afeel appreciated vitu kama hizo, but azikosangi hizo vitu za kusema huyu alikula, hata kwa sasa tunasikianga hivyo. So ni kitu iko yeah,
it's so much in awards, in pageant. I had
everywhere hata sisi tumefanya pageant imekuwa like walikula ama ilikuwa hakuna, ni vitu zinakuanga it's politics, so lazima tuzikubali na tusonge mbele.
All right. Now, my director is telling me our time is, we are running out of time.
Yeah.
Now, if you were to redesign the creative industry right now, what changes would you have made?
One, creative it's wild. One ni kuwakia system, na kuwakia structure, na kuwakia policies zenye zina capture kila mtu. The system ni kumaanisha kwamba if it is mtu mwenye ako kwa space ya media, ana feel kwamba the structures, the policies zina cover. If also ni kwa mambo na sanaa zina wa cover. But if the system they are not working and we have the leadership pale, the leadership doesn't even understand yule mtu wa chini anapitia nini. Utaenda mwanahabari utapigwa ground huko kwa sababu yule mtu ako pale juu mwenye anawaangalia kama leaders hajui system venye inawaka, hajui policies. Utakuja uchukue daktari umweke asimamie mambo na media, he knows nothing. Utakuja uchukue mkulima umweke asimamie mambo na wasanii, he understands nothing. Ndio ukikuja hapo utoke pale nje ulie mambo na 75% airplay in Kenya, he understands nothing. And that's why today in Kenya wasanii hakuna kitu wanasema kwamba we are proud of this government, because the system, the policies, this they don't work kabisa. So I feel kwamba if we can get people expert who understand about system, policies na hizo vitu zote, we can be a better country, because market ya Kenya ndio ina sell. Tanzania wana rely na sisi, Nigeria wako hapa every month, wasanii wote wako hapa, South Africa, Uganda. Why mbona ya system I work for us? Mbona policies za Kenya as work for our own creatives? Why? We are saying that we want to invest over 500 million to bring Grammy in Kenya, while we have young people who has those skills, who can do it here in Kenya. So system, policies, leadership, they're not working for us. But if we get young that opportunity as young people, we believe that is the first thing we can work on. Yeah.
All right. Now, throughout your journey, what is the biggest mistake that you made and you feel like if you'd have done it differently, you'd be somewhere different right now?
Eva?
A mistake that you've done throughout your journey that you feel like if you knew what you know right now, things won't be the same as they are right now.
If ninge realize kwamba this dream ya Jamhuri Kenya Arts ningepewa some years time back, kama 10 years before, I feel saizi ingekuwa Ruto angeinvest your 500 million zenye anataka kuinvest kwa Grammy. Yeah.
What mistake have you made throughout your journey?
The mistake mistakes.
Yeah, when weupe kama pamba hujafanya mistake?
Of which mistake azikosangi mistake.
The biggest one and you feel like ni hapa nimeblanda.
Last year event during Jamhuri Kenya Arts ya that edition, the company enye ilikuwa inafaa kusupply the trophies, the certificates, ilitumess the last minute. Leaders have traveled from across the country, CEOs from different sectors wamefika. Tunapata if Cynthia was supposed to be honored the best media personality of the year, we have 5 other categories meandikwa SYLVIA, best media personality of the year. So you find kwamba it affected the entire program. Leaders were disappointed. All the nominees who came from across the country, they were very disappointed. So like it was one of the mistake yenye niliwahi fanya, like I regretted. It took me like 3 months kuzunguka across the country to apologize, because walitoka kwa mekasirika, but I thank God that kwamba watu wali understand. I think that was one of the, imagine umetoka umepiga gauni yako nzuri, red carpet umefika, unakuja award but award yako iko. So I think that was mistake.
All right. Now, any last words as we conclude this to our viewers back at home?
Okay, kitu nataka kusema, just to appreciate those people who have believed in us for the past 4 years, and we are here to celebrate, to honor, and to recognize various individuals, organizations, and institutions from across the country. We just want to say thank you. We don't take it for granted. And then also we want to invite each and every Kenyan from Kenya and beyond our borders for Jamhuri Kenya Awards for the edition happening on date 22 at Grand Hotel Agile along Mombasa Road opposite Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. Let's come celebrate, honor, and recognize heroes and heroines of our Kenya, our country from various sectors, because I believe kwamba if we honor them, we give them respect. If we honor them, they feel kwamba kweli we see what they are doing, because there's many people out here who are doing a great job but no one recognizes them. So let's come and cheers them and support them as we move our country together.
All right, thank you so much, Babu. You're popularly known as Babu.
Babu Mtekova.
Thank you so much for making time for us this morning.
It has
been a pleasure having you on board this morning. I almost said tonight, I'm used to news this morning. So thank you so much for making time for us. Now to our viewers back at home, you've all gotten that excellence should not be for sale. And it's about structure, policy, and I've forgotten the third
System.
one. And system. To make everything work for our artists. That has been on the launch with Babu Mtekova. You can catch with him on the Jamhuri Kenya Awards, the CEO Jamhuri Kenya Awards. Coming up next is a discussion on the real estates. As a young investor, how do you get to invest in real estates? What are the right procedures to follow? The do's and don'ts as a young person in that industry, and how do you survive pressure or the wash pressure that is from the tycoons in the industry wale wanaosha pesa. So that discussion is coming up shortly after the break.
Trust and forfeit by the truth. I learned the hard way that resilience is not refuge for the fortunate. It is the making of leaders. Not long ago, when my name was mentioned, many would have called me a failure. Twice I stood in the Congress in sparse, and twice I fell short. Twice I was told my time had passed. Twice I was told to walk away. But today, as you look at me, you see not the end of a story, but its continuation. Proof that victory delays but never denies the will to serve. I had a dream, I aimed for the sky, convincing others that the dream was twice the work. Competing against those already in power was twice the burden. But with a small, relentless band of like-minded comrades, wanachama, we kept pushing forward. On election night, when the results were called, the surprise on many faces was not confusion. It was the realization that grit and collective faith can topple expectation. They never saw it coming, but when it came strong. They never knew what had hit them. How did I do it? I refused to stop. I did not need elders to handpick the team members. I did not need cartels to clear the way. But even the strongest of fighters never walk alone. To my family, who stood by me through the storms, who reminded me that character is built in silence, thank you. I'd like to recognize the presence of my dad, though he has left, Benson Thuku, my mom, Salome Thuku, my siblings, Elizabeth Thuku, George Thuku, the 20th President, KUSA, in absentia, and my younger siblings. To my friends and comrades who believed when the belief was costly, asanteni sana. To the Imara team and to everyone at Chama who walked door to door, class to class, hostel to hostel, you are the heartbeat of this victory. And to every supporter, silent or unspoken, the win is yours too. As Nelson Mandela once said, it always seems impossible until it's done. That night, we proved it true. To every young leader who lost, I say this from my heart. Your loss is not your end, it is preparation. The dream does not die with a defeat. It grows with discipline, rise again, for the future belongs to those who don't quit. Now, comrades, we inherit more than an office. We inherit a responsibility to heal divisions that weaken us, to rebuild confidence where doubt has settled, and to restore faith in the students' leadership. I'm a man of few words. I don't explain myself too much. Our mission is simple, unshakable, and ambiguous. We are the KUSA Reset Movement. We are Imara Coalition. Imara, a force defined by strength, resilience, and unity. We are the Invictus Movement advocating Reset Alliance. A generation ready to dismantle cables, oligarchs, and cartels, restore integrity, and rebuild a KUSA that serves every comrade, not a few. With resilience as our foundation and togetherness as our compass, we lead with accountability, justice, and a fierce belief that every voice must be heard. At this moment, our beloved university stands at the crossroads. Our lecturers, the very pillars of our knowledge and mentorship, are on strike. As students, we understand their grievances, but we also bear the heaviest cost of this stalemate. Our learning has been disrupted, our time and resources have been wasted, and our help funds, our only lifeline, are fast depleting. While we sit idle, awaiting for resolution, I therefore call upon the administration and the government to act with urgency and wisdom to ensure that the strike comes to an end. Education is not a privilege, it is a right. We must go back to class. The future of the thousands of Kenyans cannot be held hostage by bureaucracy or delayed negotiations. Now let me make my pledge, my legacy promise. The KUSA budget must be tabled, discussed, and approved this semester. No excuses, no delays. Because service delayed is service denied. To the administration, we, the Congress, will extend our stay during induction until we have a draft budget ready with us. 1 week after induction, the Congress will sit, debate, and approve the budget. Thereafter, it will be handed over to the university administration for you to approve, failure to which will mobilize the students' body. This is not a request, it is a demand. Let there be no doubt. We will exhaust every legitimate avenue to ensure that the comrades' mandate is honored. Comrades, I ask you today to believe that it is possible to build something greater than ourselves as long as we remain united in purpose and vision. If we are to serve the students effectively, we must have ample time to prepare our programs and events, and that can only happen if we approve the budget this semester. This will not be another administrative milestone, it will be the cornerstone of my legacy as the 21st KUSA president, and more importantly, our shared legacy as the 21st KUSA Congress. On that note, I implore you to to elect a speaker aligned with this vision. A speaker of the people, one who will work hand in hand with my office to ensure that within a week's time after induction, the first sitting will be convened and the budget is approved. At the ballot, we ended an era of puppets and complacent leadership. Now the House Business Committee, HBC, stands as the final nail in the coffin. Congresses, don't fail me. Congresses, don't fail me. Comply. Don't fail the comrades who believed in us. Comrades, 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 our work begins now. We'll make this the hardest working students' government in history. We'll run a KUSA that is accountable in its books, disciplined in its service, and relentless in its mission. Leadership is not comfort, it is a covenant. It asks not for praise, but for sacrifice. So let's raise, and not as fractured factions, but as one movement. Let our unity be the answers to sink those who are in doubt. Let our relentlessness be the reason the administration respects us. Let our work echo louder than our words. To my fellow comrades, I close this with a solemn pledge. I will be a president of the people, a president who listens, who walks with you, who fights beside you, not above you. I will not hide behind titles or offices. I will stand on ground where your struggles are felt most. Every decision I make, every policy I defend, and every battle I fight will be guided by the single truth that power belongs to the students. You give me your trust, and I give you my word. I will be a president who serves, not one who rules, but the comrades' interest. But if the comrades' interests are threatened, I will not be silent, not under my watch. Together we reset this institution and restore dignity to the students' leadership. Chama iko imara. May our term, the 21st Congress, be remembered not by the power we held, but the service we rendered. May we live a KUSA that is stronger, cleaner, and truer to its ideals. God bless the comrades. God bless Kenyatta University. God bless the work we begin today. Thank you.
All right, welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Biashara Tuesday, KUTV Rise Today. And at this point, we want to have a discussion on real estates, demystifying real estates, investment trust, what you need to know as a young person when you want to invest in real estates, regulation, and the famous wash business that you know about, the discussion surrounding real estates and wash. What is it about? How is it affecting you as an investor? And how do you navigate that to come out successful? What are the safe ways of investing? In Yautatafutu and DCI, that is. So this is a discussion on demystifying rates. Joining us this morning is John Asio, who is relationship manager at VUCA Investment Club. We're also joined by Ella Waweru, who is a young mind that will be helping us understand, is it possible for a young person to invest? If yes, how does this happen? Allow guests in studio to allow themselves. Let me begin from my immediate right. Let's begin by gentlemen first today, because we're two ladies.
Yeah, so as Sylvia said, my name is John Asio, and I'm a relationship manager at VUCA Investment Club.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you so much for making time for us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
As Sylvia said, my name is Ella Waweru, and I'm a BCom student in Kenyatta University.
Mm-hmm. Wanafunzi wa biashara. Karibu sana Ella, KUTV. Now, John, please tell us in details what you do.
Okay, so I help onboard clients to the VUCA platform where they can invest in a real estate investment trust. And it doesn't stop there. It's good to guide people as they invest, because it's a long-term investment. So simply put, there to work with you through your investment journey. If you have any queries, you can ask, and I can also give you pointers on how to not only invest in real estate, but to have a balanced portfolio. Yeah.
If you're watching us live, you see the guest has also opened up to questions. So if you're having any question, please feel free to share with us on our social media platforms. We are live on YouTube at KUTV Kenya. Please share the questions. Now let me begin just where we are. As young people, we are told often that you need to invest in your younger age. Age is when you have the energy to, have your money directed to something that is growing, because we have grown up with the mindset, with the consumer mindset. Right now, if you give a young person 1,000 bob, atafikiria ni nini sina?
Yeah.
That's the first thing. Ni nini sina? What's the latest trend? What do I need to buy? If it's a lady, do I have lashes? Do I have wigs? Is my makeup kit right? So we have this consumer mindset. And then sometimes it's because we lack a specific area where someone wants to invest. Young people, most of them are in 7 out of 10 young people will tell you that they have tried either selling mitumba or hawking or something, just retail, selling something. None of them thinks of real estates. It's a bougie word, because we think that, okay, people who invest in real estates really have it. So why should young people care about investing in real estates?
Well, real estate is known to give steady and stable returns over time. The only problem is that it can be quite capital intensive. So the whole purpose of a real estate investment trust is to simplify this whole process. So instead of having to buy your own plot or land, you can invest in already tangible assets. So, when you're young, you have the time, and compounding works in your favor over the long term, maybe a period of 10 or even 20 years, where you start getting, exponential returns. So when you start when you're young in a stable investment like real estate, you're putting yourself in a very good position to build your wealth over time. So it's good to put a certain percentage every month, and it's quite easy to do so with a real estate investment trust, especially if you're now investing through VUCA. Yeah.
Now, Ella, yes, how easy or hard has it been like to take this concept?
Personally, for me, it's been easy since I have a father, thank the Lord, who has taught me much about investment. I was even telling John earlier that I saw my father's VUCA investment portfolio on his laptop. So he has taken me through the steps and know what to invest in, but I haven't still learned more about stocks. That is something that I will figure out later.
I love that, because most households do not have these conversations of money. Yeah. People grow up, I don't like using this word, but someone grows up having a scarcity mindset, because the only time you talk about money with your parents is when you're told, you ask money, nataka pesa hii, and then you're told, hakuna sahi. Yeah. So you learn to akili yako iko centered on, we may not have money right now, so where would we get money to save? Yeah. So we've grown up with that mindset, and I love the fact that you've had it from a young age. How relevant is this, or how early should parents talk to their children about savings and investments?
To be honest, I think as early as possible. When your child is not even maybe 10 years old, they should at least have some concept of saving, maybe the piggy bank, just to get them on track early on, so that by the time they're in campus, they understand that with the little that I have, I can put some away for the long term. By the time now you're leaving campus, that mindset is already fully engraved inside you, and you'll have your first job, you'll be making a bit more, so you can even save a bit more, and since you have the discipline, it'll be much easier to do so. Yeah.
Now, that was a little bit out of topic, but we had to do that. Now let's come back to the discussion about where we're having investment. How do you identify this is a legit investment or trust fund, and this is not a legit one?
So for most investments, the first thing is to ensure that it's regulated by the Capital Markets Authority. And from there, you can also do your due diligence, understand the asset class you're investing in. most people, when they look at an investment, the first thing they look is returns, and the higher the better, without understanding the risks that come with the asset class that you've chosen. So it's also quite important to diversify amongst those regulated investments, so that you can have some that are giving you high returns, and you can have something like real estate that gives you steady returns while being stable. Yeah.
How high or low can someone invest in, like in terms of amount, for you to begin this investment? Because mostly, if right now we are focusing on the young people, they may not have large amounts of capital because it's capital intensive. What's the least that someone can begin with?
Well, with VUCA specifically, realistically you can start with any amount. Although for the investment to make sense, we usually advocate for, let's say, 2,500 or 5,000 shillings, and then you can do so on a monthly basis. But ideally, you should have a strategy that is practical to you and how you generate your income, whether it's pocket money, whether it's a side hustle. So you can decide, let's say, 10% of this will be going to the investment.
We live in a world, I'm still on you, John. We live in a world where wealth is considered to be something tangible. Niko na kuka, hii kuka yangu ni yangu. But then we are talking of an investment where probably you're going to see the returns in 10 years. How do you is it measuring the value of what you have? Because technically you can't see it. It's something that is, for lack of a better word, imaginable. How do you measure the value of what you have?
Well, I don't know if this is what you're asking, but it's always good to identify your net worth at any given time. Now, your net worth is simply your assets and your liabilities, or rather you subtract your liabilities from your assets to know how much you're actually worth. And of course, you'll have maybe stored this wealth in different places. With real estate, at least it's tangible. Even in the case of VUCA, as much as you're buying shares into the REIT, it's still a tangible investment. So there are different ways of storing wealth. Some may be intangible, some may be tangible, but it's always good to diversify.
How do you do it in terms of, as a young person, probably you may not have consistent income. So for your case, how do you do it?
Personally, as a young person, as a comrade, as you know, personally, my lunch money, there are days that I save, I don't eat lunch, and the money, make it like 2,500, and then I push it to the MMF. I have an MMF account. So that's how I save money, really.
So it's basically from pocket money then to savings.
Yes.
So do you run a business?
I did a mtumba business actually when I was in first year, second year, but
things went murama.
Murama.
All right, so at the moment, because that's a little bit hard, as a comrade, you're basically living on survival mode.
Yes.
And you won't starve yourself every time to, I don't know if I'm polluting your mind, but then you won't, that is not consistent. And with saving, it needs to be consistent. So what are your plan Bs on this? For example, when sometimes you will not go hungry. So what are plan Bs on this?
So my plan B is, I have a very generous family whereby we are given money when you want to, like when you tell your parents, I want to add money to my MMF account, they'll actually give you money. My parents.
All right, you're very privileged for that matter. Now, something that is a common narrative in the real estates. Help us demystify this, confirm or deny. Something to do with wash. How do investors or the genuine investors survive in this industry, especially when we have so many individuals who are having illegitimate money, pouring it into the industry without having taxes and all that. So they don't care about the high prices, because apparently right now, if you're in the industry, the construction, prices of different commodities are high. But then these people have a lot of money. They may not care how it's spent. Most of them are excluded in tax, or tax does not really affect them. So how do legitimate companies and business persons or business people compete with this influx of illegitimate money?
That's a good question. Well, you're right. Real estate nowadays is a minefield to navigate. Especially, I mean, it's quite hard to know which property has been built with proceeds of wash rush, as you've called it, and it's quite hard to know what a legitimate asset is. So if you're looking to partner with such people, I guess the best thing you can do is just to do your due diligence on who you're working with, the companies that you're also working with. But for us at VUCA, we've made it quite easy to invest in real estate. So we are regulated, and you don't have to worry about wash rush because we have to submit reports to the CMA, and there's a lot of oversight. Even the funds that are invested with us are placed in a custodian bank. So it is not money for us to use for our own needs. It is purely to be invested in real estate. So at least with the real estate investment trust, it is much easier to invest, especially if it's regulated. You don't have to worry about bumping into such people.
So how do you survive the competition? Because from where I get, you at the honest side of this conversation.
So for us, we decided to venture into a space that has barely been tapped into, and that is, quality purpose-built student accommodation. So at least with that, you can ensure that you have good occupancy rates, and being a fast mover, we are putting ourselves at an advantage where we are ahead of the competition. So it's just a matter of choosing a good segment to invest in. Don't go into a saturated market, and also do it in a regulated way. For us now, we decided the REIT structure was a good way to add or to improve credibility in the real estate market.
All right.
Yeah.
That is brilliant. I love it. Now, you've mentioned VUCA several times.
Yes.
And I want us to help us understand how exactly this works in terms of the procedure, the step by step, how this works for someone who is new to this type of investment, and probably they want to go with VUCA on this investment.
VUCA is what we call an aggregator platform. We pull funds from different people, and then we invest these funds into our REITs. So it's quite simple to open a VUCA account. You just visit the website, we verify your account, and we guide you on how to get started. We don't just leave you stranded. And from there, once you're investing in VUCA, you're investing in our REITs, you're buying shares into our REITs. So the idea is that the shares will be appreciating in value when the property is also appreciating in value. So those two are linked together. And then at the same time, you'll be benefiting from the rental income that we generate from these properties as a shareholder. And as I mentioned, you can invest even as low as 2,500. So the idea is that whenever you're ready to invest, you just log into your VUCA account, you place your, what we call your buy order by buying the shares, and you're already an investor with VUCA.
So what are the hidden risks of REITs investment? Because I know there has to be the dark side.
There's no investment that doesn't carry a certain type of risk. So for us, in our case, occupancy rates can change, especially if it's off season. So whenever that happens, it means that the rental income, of course, reduces. And if that happens, it means we could have lower dividend payouts for our clients. So of course, there's that type of risk, but at least the investment is asset backed by actual assets, which are independently valuated, meaning that your principal investment is at least secure, even if the returns might fluctuate from time to time.
All right. Coming back to Ella, for how long have you been doing this investment?
Since Form 1.
Oh, since Form 1. So far, how are the returns for you? How do you see it, and would you recommend it to someone?
The returns are quite well, and I would recommend it to someone, especially if you're patient enough to wait, because returns you don't get money overnight. You have to be patient. The returns are usually annually, so you have to wait for a whole year to get the certain amount. But there are also MMFs whereby they give you per day, there's a certain rate you get. So yeah, I do.
So I love your patience. Anyway, John, talk to us about the liquidity of this, because probably someone will want, okay, maybe niko na emergency, I want my money. How easy or hard is that?
So for a real estate investment, it's quite liquid. We have what we call trading cycles. In our case, that happens on a weekly basis. So for instance, if you have an emergency and you sell your shares, we will process the transaction next week on Monday, and then from there you can withdraw from your VUCA wallet. So that process takes at least or up to 5 working days to facilitate the transaction. Having said that, we don't recommend using VUCA as an emergency fund. So it's always good to have a diversified portfolio. As she has an MMF, so that can be your emergency fund. And then now whatever you are willing to invest for the long term, you can put with VUCA. But we do understand life happens and you need to liquidate everything. So in that case, it's quite simple. Let's say within 10 working days, you'll have received your funds.
That is within a week.
Yeah, within a week, more or less.
All right, it's best saving for especially young people while you're in a sherehe and you need to get your money as fast as possible. Now, when it comes to onboarding young people on this kind of investment, now they know of liquidity, they know how it works, they can save as little as 2,000 shillings, and it takes longer time for it to mature or for you to get your dividends and all that. When it comes to bringing them on board, despite knowing all these things, are there other setbacks in terms of mindset that you've seen they have that you can talk them off that mindset?
So for me, what I've seen personally, sorry to say, is usually a lack of foresight. Someone may come in understanding that it's a long-term investment, but within a year or two, because real estate takes time to substantially appreciate in value, they tend to forget that lesson. So that is, a big part of my job is to walk with someone through this journey. Continuous education is what I do, just so that you don't lose track of your actual goals. Because another thing is that I see is people tend to invest without a purpose. Now, if you do that, you lack patience. So every investment that you have or that you do should have a specific goal attached in mind. So for me personally, for instance, with my VUCA account, I use it to diversify my pension portfolio. So if a certain percentage is deducted to my personal pension plan, I meet it with the same percentage with VUCA. So for me, I have a 10-year, 15-year horizon. I won't even be checking what my account is doing at the moment. The idea is to just continuously invest. And once you have that investment goal in mind, you will then have the foresight to try and achieve it.
All right. For you, Ella, what was your biggest mindset? The Luo is trying to come up with this interview. Mindset shift for you, moving away from the spending mindset where you just want to spend and be a consumer?
Okay, if there's one thing that my father taught me is consistency. Wealth is built on consistency. That's saving that 1,500, at one point it will turn to 1,000,000. So I just looked at the bigger picture, the 1,000,000, like me holding 1,000,000, and it really motivated me. Yes.
So it's the future that is holding you together in this investment.
Yes.
I love that. I hope most of us would have that. Now, as we bring this to an end, there are various shifts in this industry. How people did invested in real estates before may not be the same as how they're doing it right now. What is the biggest shift right now in any field, in terms of technology, in terms of structure, in any way? What is the biggest shift, and how will it affect the future of real estate investment?
So I'd say the shift that is happening as we speak is that there are many more investment options. Previously, I guess with our parents, it was simply put your money in a circle, ensure that if you're taking a loan, you buy land, you build, and that was pretty much investing for them. Nowadays, we have money market funds. You can also buy offshore stock. You can invest in so many other things. So I guess the impact that I see even happening now is that people don't first run to real estate. They invest in these high yield options and then now look for real estate or even a real estate investment trust and diversify through that platform because of the stability real estate offers, especially if other investments are fluctuating in terms of returns or risk. Yeah.
All right, if investors were data driven, how would this impact their investment?
Okay, depends on what you mean by data driven.
I mean, someone is keen, looking at trends, looking at, I've invested this, looking at the interest rates and all of that, on toes with what is happening with their money.
Yeah.
How will this affect how will this shift investment in real estate despite all these changes in mindset and all that?
I think for institutions, we'll see a shift from let's say saturated markets like apartments or malls or office space, and you'll find that segments like student accommodation now will have more players in it, and people will also look for REITs that are now focusing on such areas as opposed to general real estate. As you said, real estate has a lot of wash, so people now will try to navigate to the less saturated and to an investment that offers credibility. Yeah.
All right. Now, Ella, if you were to give an advice to your peers or the young people who would probably want to invest either in MMF, either in real estate, in any field, or in business, you've also tried business, what advice would you give to them?
Do your research. And because we live in a world whereby information is in our hands, so you can be misguided at any point, and we are fast to accept information without actually doing your research. So you do your research to know where to invest, how to go about it, and then you invest your money and then you get a good profit in the end. Yeah, and also be patient. Patience, the biggest lesson so far.
Now, coming back to John, any last words to our viewers back at home? It's maybe advice to the young investors or even the veteran investors, maybe our parents who believe in kununua mashamba and all that. Any advice to them in terms of shifting their minds to other forms of investment or even joining VOCA?
I think Ella has said it best. It's about being consistent, and it is also about having a long-term approach regardless of whatever investment you're doing. Do your own research, and I have to reiterate that it's good to always invest with a purpose. Don't just invest for the sake of it.
All right. Thank you so much, lady and gentlemen, for making time for us this morning. I hope there is a shift in our audience mind in terms of investment and the reward of consistency in this industry. I hope you have learned a thing or two. I don't know if there are questions. Let me check if you have questions so that we don't end this without having answered your question on matters real estates. That is to our guests here in studio. I'm looking. We don't have a question related to that. Great conversation. Someone is saying, Rachel, the real estate discussion has cleared the misconception I had about investing in real estates. Ms. Karanja saying, great conversation we have here. Valerie, very lively discussion. And so many other comments, but we don't have a question. So I guess wanafunzi wameelewa. When the teacher used to tell you that any question, no question, it means you've understood. Thank you so much for making time for us. We are going to be taking a very short break. Coming up next is the newspaper review on the state of our nation, and that is discussion surrounding politics, education, matters health, and what is happening around our borders in Tanzania, Uganda, and Sudan. Stay tuned for that.
Our planet's future is in our hands. However, there is a threat to the brightness of this tomorrow. On EarthCheck, we share the challenges, the solutions, and the hope.
I would call this a very momentous day.
Every story, every step we take creates a ripple. Join me, the environmentalist Emmanuel Kutosi, on KUTV every Wednesday at 8 p.m. and be part of EarthCheck. Welcome.
And that's coming to try and meet that gap or stand in that gap to help our students to ensure that they are ready for the market. And not only that, also bearing in mind that jobs are not literally coming by, we also want to ensure that these students, when they leave, we are preparing them to have that entrepreneur mind so that they can also be job creators. Of agriculture. Many of our students think that when we talk of agriculture, they think of our peasant farmers like ourselves and our parents, the way we were. But again, there are a lot of green things in that area that they can be able to do and creating jobs for themselves. So we are looking at the whole spectrum of things that can be done by our students when they leave universities.
Every university, we've had a minimum of 1,500 university students within the university. And then online, because we also try to engage them digitally so that we are using that university to leverage connections with other students. Like in the last one that we had in Taita Taveta, we had 33,000 engagements online. Some of them outrightly reaching out and saying, can I enroll in your entrepreneurship mentorship program? Can I enroll in your skills development program? And that's part of what we're doing. To your question about how many of these young people we've managed to get in just the 3 universities, we've managed to get 1,200 students who have enrolled in our skilling program and also in the entrepreneurship program. We intend to take them into our programs to enable them to get to that pre-seed funding stage. And so far, it's been an exciting journey, and we're sure that there are many opportunities for many other students out there. Every university, we've had a minimum of 1,500 university students within the university. And then online, because we also try to engage them digitally so that we are using that university to leverage connections with other students. Like in the last one that we had in Taita Taveta, we had 33,000 engagements online. Some of them outrightly reaching out and saying, can I enroll in your entrepreneurship mentorship program? Can I enroll in your skills development program? And that's part of what we're doing. To your question about how many of these young people we've managed to get in just the 3 universities, we've managed to get 1,200 students who have enrolled in our skilling program and also in the entrepreneurship program. We intend to take them into our programs to enable them to get to that pre-seed funding stage. And so far, it's been an exciting journey, and we're sure that there are many opportunities for many other students out there.
Tunachukua hatua kuhakikisha watu wetu wanapata msaada wa kweli na kukabiliana na hali hiyo na kujisaidia. Leo tunagawa majiko ya gesi ya meko 5,800. Haya majiko yatasaidia watu kuacha kutumia kuni na makaa. Pia tunalinda afya ya kina mama na watoto ambao mara nyingi hukaa jikoni kwa kutumia majiko haya. Tunaokoa miti zaidi ya 500 kwa kila mwaka kwa kupeana hizi jiko. Tunaenda pia kuanzisha programu ya kutengeneza majiko ya kisasa yanayotumia kuni kidogo katika chuo cha Kibingoti.
So you find that most of our readers, they are being affected by use of charcoal, firewood. Yes, most of our women are the ones who are affected, and also the children, because they are with their mothers in the kitchen. Yes, we have seen the increase of cancer cases, and mostly to women, cancer of the lung mostly, and also children, they have pneumonia mostly, and also our men are also being affected currently because of the excess use of smoke,
which involves using of firewood, traditional firewood and jikos in cooking. That is hazardous and also environmentally friendly in that it releases the greenhouse gases, which are bringing a lot of effects to the climate change. So by introduction of the MECO cooking gases, we are saving our mothers and women from diseases. We are also protecting our environment.
Nimeletewa ngasi na gavana wa Igoro, nikaona ngasi ni mzuri kuliko kuni. Juu kuni inatufanya tugonjeke juu ya moshi, na ngasi haina moshi. Hata watoto walikuwa wanagonjeka juu ya moshi, na sasa wakati tulipewa ngasi hawagonjeki kukohoa ama kutoa macho, inatoa machozi juu ya moshi.
During the 2025 Indigenous Seeds and Food Culture Trade Fair held under the theme Seeds of Freedom and Resilience, the impact of indigenous crops on sustainability and food security was deeply explored, especially in the face of changing climatic conditions.
Where is our origin? Kuhusu maneno ya seeds.
Speaking at the event, Laikipia County Deputy Governor Ruben Kamuri highlighted the importance of ensuring national food security through the preservation of indigenous seeds and the adoption of sustainable farming methods.
Without a good seed bank na pia good variety, then we cannot even talk about food secure nation. Pia maneno ya kuensure we have the best practices in terms of smart farming. Nikiongea kuhusu smart farming, naongea kuhusu irrigation methods. Tunafanya mzuri, tunanunua mashine mingi ambazo zinafanya mechanization na ndio tuweze kulima vizuri.
Na tunafurahi ya kwamba
on her part, the Biodiversity and Biosafety Authority Director Ann Minor stressed the importance of agroecological policies, describing them as a comprehensive and sustainable approaches with far-reaching benefits.
Agroecology inaleta hizi sustainable practices zote, organic agriculture, ambapo tunaweza kuangalia mambo ya maji, mifugo, afya yetu, afya ya udongo, afya ya wanyama wetu, ili tuweze kukuza vyakula ambavyo vinaleta manufaa katika maisha yetu.
She also expressed concern over the previous Seed Act, terming it punitive and unconstitutional.
Miaka miwili imepita, tulienda kotini na juu ya issue ya the Seed Act ambayo ilikuwa very punitive, na tumekuwa tukienda pale Machakos High Court, na mwezi wa November tunangoja judgment ya kwamba tunasika constitutional interpretation of our Seed Act vis-a-vis our constitution. Sababu constitution inasema kila kitu kiasili, our indigenous knowledge, our seeds take priority.
Tunafurahia sana kwa sababu tunaweza kuhamasisha jamii waweze kuelewa umuhimu wa kuwa na mbegu zao ili waweze kuzihifadhi. Mimi ni seed ambassador.
Jennifer Adoyo, an indigenous seed ambassador, urged farmers to preserve these seeds, saying that they are a symbol of resilience, heritage and hope for future generations.
Kama mkulima, umuhimu mtu anaweza jiuliza ni umuhimu gani yenye inafanya tu celebrate hizi mbegu zetu kwa siku hii ya leo. Hizi mbegu zetu tukizihifadhi, tutapata kwamba zile mbegu ambazo zilikuwa zinajaribu kupotea, tutazihifadhi, tutazipata na zitatumika kutoka kwa kizazi kimoja ama kingine. Alafu hizi mbegu pia tukiziweka, utazapata mkulima mmoja ako na mbegu zaidi ya moja. Sasa hiyo nyingine ikikuangusha, utapata hiyo nyingine ya kufanya nini, ya kukuamsha.
The exhibition featured a variety of crops including cereals, legumes and traditional vegetables, a major highlight of the event being the launch of a community seed bank, a move aimed at preserving and regenerating traditional seed varieties. James Baraka for KUTV.
5 laptops are donated to Maranjao Prison in Maragua to facilitate virtual court hearings, an initiative designed to enhance efficiency in the delivery of justice and eliminate unnecessary delays in case processing.
It's a step now that our stakeholders here have.
The judiciary rolled out the initiative under the leadership of Murang'a High Court Presiding Judge Lady Justice Cecilia Githua as part of a wider digital transformation program aimed at promoting social transformation through the efficient delivery of justice. Maranjao Prison, which is currently housing 425 inmates, despite a capacity of 300 inmates, will now host virtual court sessions to help decongest the facility and expedite case processing.
This initiative of digitizing or affording the means of technology to prisons, especially Maranjao Prison, would really help in the fast tracking of cases because then the inmates would be able to conduct their cases, those that are suitable for virtual hearings, to conduct their cases from here, which means that they will not need to be transported to the physical court, which is very far from here.
Stakeholders in the criminal justice system, including the Law Society of Kenya Mboi Ndegwa, pledged continued collaboration to support the digital court system through legal aid services for inmates and remandees. They further donated hygiene products such as toothbrushes, toothpaste, toilet paper and foodstuff to improve living conditions for prisoners.
We've donated what we call a MiFi so that they can improve their virtual court session attendance with the Kenya law courts. We've also been attending to our clients, that is the remandees who are remanded at Maranjao prison, by offering legal aid services, which is even part of what we'll be doing. From the next week, the 27th to the 31st, we have what we call a legal awareness, where we'll be offering our legal aid services. And the remandees and the prisoners are some of the people who will benefit from that kind of arrangement.
Nationally, the judiciary is working with partners such as the Communications Authority of Kenya to expand ICT infrastructure in courts and prisons, ensuring reliable connectivity for virtual hearings. As part of ongoing decongestion efforts, 106 inmates were released from Manjaru prison, underscoring the judiciary's commitment to delivering justice efficiently, improving prison conditions, and ensuring fair and timely access to justice for all. Glory Kadure, KUTV, Nairobi.
Welcome back. Now it's time to keep you updated on what is shaping the world of news. And to begin with our neighbors, the United Republic of Tanzania has sworn in sixth President Samia Suluhu Hassan at a military stadium in Dodoma. The ceremony was attended by presidents and leaders from various nations and marked the beginning of efforts to restore peace in Tanzania following protests witnessed after the elections. Edward Nyamu with the report.
Mimi Samia Suluhu Hassan naapa kwamba nitakuwa mwaminifu kwa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania na kuitumikia kwa moyo wangu wote, na kwamba nitaihifadhi, nitailinda na kuitetea Katiba ya Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania kwa mujibu wa sheria iliyowekwa. Ewe Mwenyezi Mungu nisaidie.
Finally, the United Republic of Tanzania has its sixth president after political tensions sparked unrest soon after the conclusion of the election. As it is tradition after a victory, President Samia Suluhu began by inspecting a guard of honor before being presented with the instruments of power, which included a shield and spear symbolizing the start of her leadership.
Mimi Samia Suluhu Hassan naapa kwamba nitatenda kazi zangu za urais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania kwa uaminifu na kutimiza wajibu wa kazi hizo kwa bidii na moyo mkunjufu, na kwamba nitawatendea haki watu wote kwa mujibu wa sheria, mila na desturi za Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania bila woga, upendeleo, huba wala chuki. Ewe Mwenyezi Mungu nisaidie.
The swearing in of Vice President Emmanuel John Nchimbi followed.
Mimi Emmanuel John Nchimbi naapa kwamba nitakuwa mwaminifu kwa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania na kuitumikia kwa moyo wangu wote, na kwamba nitaihifadhi, nitailinda na kuitetea Katiba ya Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania kwa mujibu wa sheria iliyowekwa. Ewe Mwenyezi Mungu nisaidie.
In her inaugural speech, Ms. Suluhu congratulated those who voted for her and issued a warning that her swearing in marked only the beginning of confronting her opponents following the chaos witnessed during and after the elections.
Ni vyema tutambue kwa uchaguzi mkuu wa viongozi wa serikali ni mchakato wa msimu mmoja tu ndani ya kipindi cha miaka 5. Muda mwingine wote maisha lazima yaendelee. Hivyo basi jukumu letu sote kwa pamoja ni kujenga nchi yetu na kuifanya kesho yetu iwe bora zaidi kuliko jana yetu. Niwasihi tuendelee kuilinda itikadi yetu ya umoja na mshikamano.
President Suluhu also dismissed claims that the protests were organized by Tanzanians, saying they were incited by citizens from other countries.
Ndugu zangu, wote tunaitakia mema nchi hii, tumesikitishwa na kuhuzunishwa na matukio ya uvunjifu wa amani, upotevu wa maisha na uharibifu wa mali za umma na mali za watu binafsi kwenye baadhi ya maeneo hapa nchini, hasa kwenye majiji na miji. Kilichotokea hakiendani na taswira na sifa za Kitanzania na sio Utanzania. Haikutushangaza kuona kuwa baadhi ya vijana waliokamatwa kutokana na kadhia hiyo wametoka nje ya Tanzania. Vyombo vyetu vya ulinzi na usalama vinaendelea kufuatilia na kuchunguza kwa undani zaidi kilichotokea.
Suluhu inauguration stirred debate as only a small number of Tanzanians were seen attending, mostly leaders, a situation attributed to the recent unrest. She vowed to restore peace through dialogue.
Ndugu zangu, nitumie fursa hii kutoa onyo kama mama, kutoa onyo kwa wale wote waliochochea uvunjifu wa amani. Na nawataka watambue kuwa vurugu na uvunjifu wa amani huishia kupimana nguvu na uwezo wa kujihami, ila mazungumzo huzaa mshikamano. Sasa tuchague lenye manufaa kwetu, kwani usalama wa taifa lolote hulindwa na wote kwa nguvu zote na gharama zozote. Ni wasihi wa Tanzania, tuchague hekima badala ya ghadhabu, busara badala ya mihemuko, upendo badala ya chuki, uvumilivu badala ya vinyongo, umoja badala ya mgawanyiko.
In 2014, Samia was elected deputy chairperson of the Constituent Assembly, tasked with drafting the country's new constitution. Suluhu later became Tanzania's first female vice president following the 2015 general elections after being elected on the Chama cha Mapinduzi ticket alongside the late President John Magufuli, and eventually assumed the leadership of the country following Magufuli's death. Edward Nyamo, KUTV.
Now, in matters education, as the KPSEA and KJSEA examinations come to an end, candidates for the Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education, KCSE, officially began their national examinations yesterday. Education Cabinet Secretary Migos Ogamba emphasized that the government has implemented robust measures to ensure that the exams are conducted smoothly and without any interference. Caroline Kimwele reports.
At exactly 8 a.m., the written papers for the National Secondary School Examination, KCSE, officially began. A total of 996,078 candidates started the examinations, sitting for English and chemistry papers on the first day.
For KCSE starts, for the last 2 weeks, we've been undertaking the examination across the country for both KPSEA and KJSEA, and also KCS practicals, which have gone smoothly without any instances.
Education CS Migos Ogamba has warned those intending to engage in exam malpractice, saying that individuals found guilty will be punished individually, unlike before when entire schools were penalized.
We are discouraging anyone engaging in any sort of malpractice or irregularity during this examination period. NEC, through the ministry and other players, has put a lot of security measures in this year's examinations. For instance, all the papers, all the scripts are individualized. They have the student's name, they have the student's photo, and they have the students.
Social media and mobile phones continue to pose a major challenge in the administration of national examinations. The Chief Executive Officer of the Kenya National Examinations Council, NEC, Dr. David Njengere, has stated that the ministry has directed all invigilators and examination officials to surrender their mobile phones during the examination
phones
period.
Remain our biggest challenge in effective and efficient administration of the examinations. And we have issued a circular to everybody who is going to be in the spaces where the examinations are being administered, that they must surrender their phones. That is including the center managers, anybody who is working in the school compound, whether it is a cook, or a secretary, or a grounds person, or security. Everyone must surrender their phones to the supervisor, who is going to secure the phones in a locker.
The KCSE examination is scheduled to conclude on November 21st, 2025, with results expected to be released in January 2026. Education CS Ogamba has also announced that results for the KPSEA and KJSEA examinations will be released in December 2025. Caroline Kimwele, KUTV.
And remember, the national examinations are on the second day. Today, the candidates are sitting. Actually, they've already begun. Their mathematics paper 1 paper. Later on, they will be doing their English paper 2 paper. Now, more than 900,000 students across the country officially began their Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education (KCSE) national examinations. On the county level, the government has assured security preparedness and calm in all examination centers to ensure that all candidates sit the exams in peace. The story was produced by very own Moses Masha. The National Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education examinations officially began today, with approximately 996,078 candidates participating in all corners of the country. In Migori County, the government has assured adequate security along the Kuria-Transmara border, where community conflicts have long been a challenge. A total of 31,627 candidates are expected to sit the exams. According to the county's Deputy Governor, Dr. Joseph Mahiri, who spoke during a food distribution exercise at Wangirabose Secondary School, located in the Tete border area, the county government has provided supplies and food assistance to all 7 schools in the region.
Ni shule ambazo ni 7 ambazo zimekuwa affected, hasa ni huku kati ya hii uhasama na wizi wa ng'ombe. Nimetarget shule 7 ambayo nawapelekea chakula ambayo najua itatosha ya kuwapeleka wakati huo wanapofanya mitihani zao ya kidato cha 4.
In Nyeri County, 20,313 students are sitting for the exams, including 537 candidates registered in private schools.
For the KJSA center managers, we have merged some of you because of the shortage of the vehicles. I will be going to announce to you after we have issued the papers to you for the schools that we merged in others. We are going to begin with the KJSA. We will issue the KJSA scripts and then come to KCSE scripts. Thank you so much.
And in Laikipia County, 11,094 students are sitting the exams peacefully, with 1 student at a Laikipia North School taking the test at Ngeo Level 5 Hospital after giving birth.
And for KCSE, we have 11,094 candidates, all distributed across the county. Thank you. A girl that gave birth, and she had some complications. She's in Nanyuki Level 5 Hospital. So that is where she's taking her exams, and the exam is coming from Laikipia East. It is being assigned from this place.
The KCSE examinations officially began on October 21st and are scheduled to end on November 21st, when candidates will sit for the final physics paper. ANYANGO SYLVIA, KUTV. Now, due to alleged non-compliance with the Kenya National Examination Council (NEC) examination regulations, a center manager in charge of the ongoing Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education (KCSE) has been replaced. Apollo Apuko, the director of Narok County, confirmed the occurrence and stated that a deputy principal will take over for the official whose identity has been suppressed to guarantee the seamless administration of the national exams.
There were some 2 institutions that they mentioned that the center managers were to be replaced, but so far we have scaled down to 1 institution where the center manager is going to be replaced because of some kind of he's not working in accordance with the NEC regulations as far as the management of exams are concerned. And this we are going to do immediately. And therefore that institution, the deputy head teacher, will take over to run the exams throughout.
Now, moving a step higher, Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Migos Ogamba appealed to university lecturers to call off their 2-month strike that has disrupted learning across public universities. Speaking in Kwale County during the launch of the Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education KCSE examination, the CS assured that the government is ready to hold talks to resolve the stalemate. Ogamba said the arrears owed to lecturers stem from pending bills not budgeted for in the current financial year. He confirmed plans for a joint meeting with representatives from university unions, the Treasury and the Salaries and Remuneration Commission in Parliament today to chart a way forward on implementing the 2017-2021 collective bargaining agreement, where lecturers are demanding 7.9 billion Kenyan shillings in full payment.
But the difficulty is not that the government doesn't want to pay the 7.7, but the funds are not available to be paid because they were not budgeted for. So the idea was we will do some reallocations and through supplementary one, pay 50% this month of November when supplementary one is being done, and then the balance will be factored into the budget of the ministry for financial year 2026-2027. And that's how government works, that's how planning works, that's how budgeting works.
Now, away from matters education, Kenya is taking a major step towards sustainable agriculture with the launch of a green fertilizer project in partnership with Kenya Electricity Generating Company, KenGen. President William Ruto announced the initiative at the Kaishan Olkaria geothermal plant in Nakuru County, promising affordable fertilizer for farmers and a boost to local food production.
For the first time in the African soil, fertilizer will be produced from ammonia that is coming from green energy.
At Nakuru County's geothermal hub, President William Ruto unveiled plans to produce green fertilizer locally, easing the financial burden on farmers and reducing Kenya's reliance on imported fertilizer. The project, in collaboration with various investors, will leverage geothermal energy to power environmentally friendly manufacturing processes.
Employees for the project. Thank you very much.
According to Ruto, the project's goal is to provide affordable fertilizer to help reduce costs for Kenyan's farmers. He explained that by boosting food production through sustainable local fertilizer manufacturing, Kenya can strengthen its agricultural sector, ensure food security, and reduce dependence on imported products.
For record, we spend close to 80 billion shillings every year to import fertilizer to Kenya. And I speak so passionately as a farmer myself that we will now have fertilizer that is not imported, and 480 metric tons is close to 9.2 million 50 kilogram bags of fertilizer. But much more importantly, it's going to save us on our foreign exchange. We will not be using our foreign exchange to import fertilizer. We will be producing fertilizer from our own resources.
He also emphasized the importance of working together to achieve Kenya's development goals, calling both local and international private investors to support government initiatives.
The investors, our friends who have demonstrated confidence in our country. It is not always that you find an investor who is ready to put 100 billion in one's country. We take pride as the people of Kenya. The whole lot of you guys, I want to assure you that the government of Kenya is 100% behind this project. We will not only save foreign exchange, we will also use our own assets and resources to develop our country.
Ruto further highlighted other ongoing projects aimed at strengthening Kenya's economy.
As we expand our energy base, we are also transforming how we manage water and food security. Our target is to build 50 new mega dams across the country, bringing at least 2.5 million acres of land under irrigation to secure our food supply, boost agricultural productivity, and expand our agricultural exports.
On the other hand, Nakuru Deputy Governor Davis Kones welcomed the project, saying it will not only boost food production but also create jobs, while KenGen CEO Peter Jenga said it supports the bottom-up agricultural transformation.
As the county government of Nakuru, we welcome the project and we are going to give them maximum support in the areas they require within the county government. Now, it is because, Your Excellency, this project will change the economy of the region in terms of jobs, affordable fertilizer for our farmers.
This investment aligns squarely with the bottom-up transformation agenda better, especially the pillar on agriculture transformation and inclusive growth.
With this green fertilizer project, Kenya moves closer to food security, environmental sustainability, and a more prosperous future for farmers and the nation.
Together, we can create a new landmark of the green industrialization in Africa.
Rose Kaguku, KUTV, Nairobi.
Now, the government has stepped up rescue and humanitarian operations in Elgeyo-Marakwet County following devastating landslides and flash floods, which was caused by heavy rainfall and deforestation triggering deadly landslides. The landslide has claimed at least 29 lives, left dozens missing, and displaced hundreds of residents.
Cabinet Secretary for Public Service, Human Capital Development and Special Programmer Geoffrey Ruku and his interior counterpart Kipchumba Murkomen led a multi-agency team in Elgeyo-Marakwet County to conduct rescue and humanitarian operations following deadly landslides and flash floods that claim at least 25 lives.
We have about 100 personnel.
Ruko said that the government official and disaster response units are camped in the affected areas to oversee the rescue and recovery mission, assuring families that no effort will be spared to locate the missing and provide relief.
Pole yote ni ya Mungu, lakini vile vile tuzingatie maneno ya climate change. Land restoration is one of the critical elements, and this land restoration should be able to be done across the Republic of Kenya because climate change is a reality and it is affecting the most vulnerable people, not only in Kenya but also in many other corners of the world. Kwa hivyo tuzingazie mambo ya mazingira, tuhakikishe kwamba tunapanda miti in upstreams na tunasikia yale ambao serikali yetu inatuhimiza tufanye.
Additionally, Ruku stated that victims who lost homes will be given temporary shelters, food and essential items, that the government will cater for all medical bills and funeral expenses.
3 excavators and 5 tippers. Yes, as soon as possible. As soon as possible. Na hiyo team yako about 100 personnel wakuje haraka haraka. Wafanye haraka haraka.
On the other hand, Murkomen said the Interior Ministry had mobilized security agencies, including the Kenya Defence Forces, the National Police Service, and the Kenya Red Cross, to assist in the rescue mission, restore order, and prevent further loss of life. He added that despite destroyed roads and disrupted communication, rescue teams were working tirelessly to save lives.
Wanaondolewa kwa sehemu ambazo ziko na hatari. Tukiona sehemu inawezanyesha na ikatike, tunataka watu waondolewe. Tayari CS Ruku atakuja kusema hapa kuna mipango ya kuhakikisha vile tutasupport wale ambao wataafu kujenga makao mapya, na tukiwa tunasaidia hawa tunataka kuwaondoa kwa sehemu ngumu ili tuweze tukasaidiana pamoja. As I said yesterday and I'll repeat here, I don't know ni kweli ile Kangogo amesema ile tunatoa kidogo hapa itasaidia logistics hapa. Hiyo ni ya kutoa kwa mifuko yetu. Lakini serikali itagharamia mambo ya hospitali na mambo mengine hii yote ya mazishi. Tutahakikisha kwamba tumegharamia kama serikali kuhakikisha watu wetu wamewekwa kwa njia salama.
The government reaffirmed its commitment to restoring normalize, supporting victims and rebuilding Marakwet with unity, resilience and compassion. Rael Makona, KUTV.
Now, Mombasa journalists participated in a non-violent parade through the city center to commemorate the International Day to End Impunity for Crimes Against Journalists. Joining their global counterparts, speaking at the event, Mombasa Senator Mohamed Faki stated that the remembrance served as a reminder of the increasing difficulties faced by journalists around the world. He condemned tight media rules in neighboring countries like Tanzania and mentioned the recent murders of journalists covering conflicts like Gaza. Every year on November 2nd, the International Day to End Impunity for Crimes Against Journalists is marked with the goal of encouraging accountability and shielding journalists from threats, violence, and illegal prosecution across the globe.
Tungependa kusema kwamba wanahabari wanaweza kupata changamoto mingi kwa huu mwaka uliokwisha, tukiona wengi waliuliwa kule Gaza na kwengineko, na mpaka sasa bado pia mambo kama haya yanaendelea. Kwa mfano, jirani yetu hapa Tanzania, wanahabari wanapata matatizo ya kuweza kuripoti matukio kwa sababu ya sheria ngumu ambazo zimewekwa na serikali ya Tanzania. Kwa hivyo tungependa kutoa wito kwa serikali ya Kenya pamoja na Jumuiya ya Afrika Mashariki kwamba waingilie kati masuala ya Tanzania ili kuona kwamba kunakuwa na amani katika nchi hiyo, kwa sababu sisi tumeungana pamoja kama East African Community na tumekuwa ni kiungo kimoja. Kwa hivyo Tanzania ikiwa na shida, ni jumuiya nzima ya Afrika Mashariki iko na shida.
Right, now that is on the news update this morning. That is what has been happening in the country for the last 24 hours or so, or more than that. And right now I want us to, we'll discuss some of the stories, of course, and including the headlines that we are having on our newspapers this morning. And helping us understand this or helping us debunk this is Duncan Agisa, who will be also helping us know what is happening in the country, giving us his perspective of what is happening and what we need to do to better in Africa in general. Duncan?
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, Sylvia.
How are you doing?
I'm more than fine.
Kindly introduce yourself to our viewers back at home.
Thank you so much. Kwa majina yangu naitwa Duncan Agisa. Mimi ni mwanafunzi anayesomea wanahabari katika chuo cha Nairobi Anga, Nairobi. Na nafurahi sana kunikaribisha hapa. Asante.
First and foremost Kiswahili. I must say I am shocked. I hope my ancestors won't show up nikijaribu kuuma Kiswahili. We had one of our guests here in studio who used to speak Swahili sana. Right now ameondoka kidogo, but tutakuwa naye. Yeye pia ni Mswahili, anazungumza Kiswahili kingi. But we are all fine. Thank you so much for making time for us this morning. Welcome. I want us to begin with the bold newspaper this morning. That is The Standard. And this is, we don't have very pleasing pictures on the front page of The Standard. We have pictures of piled dead bodies of shot civilians. The Standard are saying it's a bloody crown. And they have given statistics. These stories are from page 8. They've given the story page 8, 9, and 10. So if we take a look at The Standard from page 8 to page 10, they are giving several stories on what is happening in Tanzania. First, they are saying Suluhu sworn into office without cheering crowds and songs of unity. They talk of Samia blames foreigners for chaos amid regional snub. They're also talking of, they're giving statistics of presidents, African presidents, that is from Gabon, Cote d'Ivoire, Seychelles, Malawi, Tanzania, and Cameroon, presidents who have won with extraordinary percentage of votes. Of course, Tanzania is the most shocking because it is having 98% of votes with 87% turnout. So kuna mahali things are not adding up.
Sure.
So you have several other countries, Gabon, Cote d'Ivoire, Seychelles, Malawi, and Cameroon, which also have divergent or unrealistic voter votes that are counted. For example, Gabon, 95% votes on a 70% turnout. So this is a statistic that the standard has given when it comes to elections in Africa, or generally in East Africa and generally in Africa. So from where you sit, Duncan,
yes,
help us understand if as Africa, is freedom something that we fantasize, and it's something that we actually don't live? Because from this data, it shows that we've had the international bodies react to Tanzania after around 72 hours. We didn't see that happen when Kenya was undergoing such deadly protest. But then is Africa really at that state where we are saying that we are having freedom when it comes to voting, when it comes to speech, when it comes to expression? Are we there yet where there is fairness in all these things when it comes to governance, or we are still under dictatorship?
Naam, asante sana Sylvia. Niseme kwamba katika East Africa, nchi ambazo ziko kule, nasema kwamba tukiwemo mmoja wao pamoja na Tanzania na nchi zingine, niseme kwamba hatuna ule uhuru ambao ni hatuna ule uhuru ambao wa kujiongea, kwa sababu unaangalia kwamba kile ambacho kinachangia zaidi yale ambao tunaona kwanza kwa Tanzania, maandamano na mambo kama hao, ni kwamba mtu anapojaribu kujiongea anafanya nini? Anazushwa. Sasa hakuna ile uhuru ambao unaweza ukaongea kitu na ukasikika, kwa sababu tunaamini kwamba kiongozi anapochaguliwa anastahili kuakisi maadili fulani. Ninapoenda kupiga foleni pale kupigia kura, nahitaji unisaidie mahala fulani, lakini unapoingia kule unapata utaki kunisikia mimi ambaye nilikuchagua, yale ambao unapitia ili kwamba uweze kunisaidia. Kwa hivyo kidogo niseme kwamba mataifa yetu hasa Kenya pamoja na Tanzania hatuna ule uhuru ambao, bado tuna safari ambayo ni tuna safari kubwa sana ya kuweza kuangazia mambo kama hayo.
Now, who is it really uhuru that you are looking for? Because you've heard people say that, I know the state has given you the freedom of speech, but when it comes to speaking to me, you know how to speak. The same also applies probably to government officials, because you'll hear people talk very insulting things to them, abusing leaders and such. But when it comes to analyzing this in terms of morals and all that, is it something that we should be questioning the morality of our speech, despite the fact that we have that freedom of speech? There are limits to our speech, but then what happens to someone who exceeds that limit? What punishment is it to be given to them? Are this justified with the sense that there is more of insult when it comes to the young people, mostly addressing the elderly or the leaders?
Naam, asante sana. Kama nilivyosema hapo awali, ni kwamba kile ambacho tunakosa hasa kama nchi ni nidhamu. Kwa sababu naamini kwamba hata wakati ambapo wewe ni kiongozi unapozungumza, kuna yale maneno ambayo unastahili kutoa ambayo ni heshima, kwa sababu unapokuwa unaongea kuna mtu ambaye anakutazama pale, anasikiliza kile ambacho unaongea. Kwa hivyo kidogo unapotumia matamshi ambayo sio ya heshima, unafanya huyu mtu kutoona kwamba sipo katika nchi ambayo I'm feeling at home. I'm not in a country that I feel at home. Ndio maana unapata kwamba unajua si wote ambao wanaenda mataifa mengine ni kwa ajili ya kazi. Some people wanaenda katika mataifa mengine to have that peace of mind. Kwa hivyo niseme kwamba we need to mind on how we talk. We need to mind as leaders how we talk. There's a way you can talk na iweze kuzusha mtu, estimate ya mtu. Hata ile morali aliyokuwa nao ya kufanya hatua fulani ama kupiga hatua katika jambo fulani hataweza kupiga kwa hatua, kwa sababu tayari anaona vile ambavyo unaongea nidhamu ni mbaya na mambo kama hayo uzingatii. Kwa hivyo sasa mimi
where then does this leave us when it comes to elections? Kwa sababu mwaka ujao around January nchi jirani Tanzania, not Tanzania, Uganda. They'll be having the elections, and we also foresee a situation where the president will be coming back. I don't know for what term, but we also foresee that that case. We've had several presidents coming back to office after 8 terms, after 5 terms, and it seems like it's a family thing. In other countries, we've seen a cousin coming in after a leader has left. So where does this leave us as Africa in terms of making changes with our leadership? What then can we do? Because when the young people talk on streets, it ends up with genocide. So where does this leave us in terms of having fair and free elections?
Asante sana, umezungumzia swala nzuri sana kuhusu viongozi wale ambao walikuwa kutoka kidogo tena wanarejeshwa. Kwa nini wanarejeshwa? Tuliona Cameroon kiongozi ambaye alikuwepo hapo awali tena anarejeshwa katika cheo. Kwa hivyo hii inaonyesha kwamba kuna ile kazi ambayo alifanya ambayo iliweza kugusa wananchi. Unajua uongozi si kuongea tu, ni matendo. Uongozi si kuongea tu, ni matendo. Kwa hivyo unapoangalia pale mjini, pale katika jamii, kuna mambo ambayo amefanya. Anaongea zile ahadi ambazo aliweza kutoa, anatimiza. Kwa hivyo unapata kwamba hata wakati ambapo kura, kama sasa vile ambavyo umesema kwamba tutakuwa na kura za Uganda hivyo, unapata kwamba kuna wale watu wanajua kwamba huyo atafanya nini, atachaguliwa. Na kuna wale ambao sema huyo atachaguliwa, kwa yule ambaye mtu ambaye yuko smart enough atajua kwamba huyu anachaguliwa tena kwa sababu kuna kazi fulani ambayo alifanya. Unajua sisi kama wananchi hatustahili kuchagua mtu kwa sababu ya fedha alizonazo ama kwa sababu ya kisomo kikubwa sana. Wakati mwingine ni vizuri kuangazia huyu mtu ni mambo yapi ambayo ameweza kufanya. Ndio maana unapata kama mimi nikitaka kuwania kama cheo fulani kama cha MCA, siwezi nikasimama tu nikasema nataka kuwania cheo fulani. Ni mambo yapi ambayo nimeyafanya mimi kama mwanafunzi ama katika kazi fulani ambayo nimefanya pale katika jamii ambayo naweza kupatia watu matumaini kwamba nikisimama katika uongozi kuna badiliko fulani ambayo naweza kufanya. Kwa hivyo sisi kama Afrika naona kwamba tuna kazi kubwa ya kufanya, kwa sababu naona kidogo ni kama hatujaelewa uongozi. Ndio maana ninapokuwa na ile kumbukumbu ya mwenda zake Raila Amolo Odinga, ameacha pengo kubwa sana katika nchi yetu ya Kenya siasa, ambayo sidhani kama kuna mtu ambaye atakuja kuijaza, kwa sababu alikuwa akipigania uhuru wa kila mmoja, kila Mkenya apate nafasi ya kuweza kujitetea, aweze kusimama aseme kwamba napitia hiki na hiki na hiki, na anaposema hivyo tuwe na kiongozi ambaye hatamsikiza. Shida ambayo tuko nayo kama Kenya ni kwamba hatusikilizwi. Lakini pia katika upande mwingine tuseme kwamba Kenyans we are very impatient. Lazima tuchukue muda fulani ili tuweze kuongojea matokeo. Kama kwa mfano mama aweza akajifungua mtoto leo alafu kesho anataka huyo mtoto apate kazi, ni balaa sana. Lazima mtoto kuna zile hatua ambazo anapitia. Kwa hivyo wakati mwingine pia tupatie viongozi nafasi ya kuweza kuangalia mambo fulani ambayo wanaweza kurekebisha katika jamii.
All right, very well said. Now that we are mentioning on contributions of Raila Odinga, we have the Star newspaper has given prominence on matters politics of the country, the current state of politics in the country. They're saying Gachagua to back Kalonzo, Natembeya and Matiang'i lineup. Ex-DP Gachagua won't run for president but will get 50% of Kalonzo government. And they're also asking a question: will Raila influence 2027 election from his grave? They've given an interesting headline. I can't really trace it, but the question is still the same. Will Raila influence the 2027 election in his grave? I think that is on the Daily Nation, if I'm not wrong. The question is, with the current muungano wa vyama, we have the united opposition coming together to form a coalition, and we have the 50% plus one vote that is required for one to become a president. I believe that is what is making all these parties come together to decide on one person to lead. But I'm having a question of goodwill when it comes to this leadership, because clearly all these people are following power. We've seen that with various leaders. For Samia Suluhu, we had a stadium that did not have cheerful citizens, the crowd, the songs. We just had officials. And right now, we are also seeing a structure being formed, a power structure being formed. And from where we sit right now, from what we can get, this is according to the Star, that Gachagua is going to be taking 50% of the power. And that is a very dangerous thing, because if you're a president and you lack 50% of the power, that means your mandate is limited to someone who is out of government, who does not have leadership position, but then has power.
Sure.
That has been the problem that you have had in this country, and I believe that is something that has also been affecting the current regime, where before getting into office, you have several people come on board, those people are financing your campaign, and then after you've won, you now have to reward them. And rewarding, in some extent, it comes to giving cabinet positions, giving, PS positions, board, a chair of different boards and parastatals and all that. So this politics of reward, I know it's something that you cannot move away from, but somehow we need to find a way out of it, because it's affecting our country. We have tycoons in the country who finance politics, who finance campaigns, but then after the president is in office, they're exempted from tax and all that, and they have bigger say on what is happening in the country in terms of leadership. You cannot fire that person because that is our person. You have to take this person in because that is our person. So this politics of entitlement and leadership, how then as a new generation do we overcome this and come up with a way of governance where we elect people on authenticity, not on what they bring to the table in terms of monetary value?
Asante sana Sylvia. Tukisema kuhusu uongozi, tumesema kwamba sio matendo. Yani si mambo na kuongea tu, ni matendo. Sasa hizi tunajua tunaelekea katika uchaguzi wa mwaka 2027. Tunataka kiongozi ambaye ataweza kuchukua ama kuwa na msimamo kama ya yule ambaye alikuwa ni mwenda zake Raila Amolo Odinga. Unajua wakati mwingi wasipendi kuangalia ubaya wa mtu sana, napenda kuangalia uzuri wake, kwa sababu bao unapata huko kwa asilimia ndogo sana. Uongozi ambao tunataka katika nchi yetu ya Kenya ni uongozi ambao kwa kweli utaweza kuinua hata uchumi. Tuko na viongozi wengi hapa ambao wanawania cheo. Tunamuona hata ingawa tunaona Matiang'i ametulia kidogo sana pale, lakini kuna fununu kwamba ataweza kuwania nyadhifa fulani kama ya urais mwaka 2027. Lakini ili kwamba huyu kiongozi apate nafasi hiyo, ni mambo yapi ambayo amefanya hapa kwenye ground ambao yanaweza akafanya nini? Yakampatia a direct njia ya kuweza kuwania hiyo cheo ya kuwa rais pale. So Kenya saizi wamechoka. Ukweli kwamba Wakenya wengi wamechoka kwa sababu ya uongozi. Tulikuwa katika uchaguzi ambao ulipita miaka ambayo imepita hapo nyuma, na wengi walikuwa na matumaini kwamba kwa kweli huyu kiongozi ambaye tumemchagua mambo yatakuwa ni hivi. Lakini kwa kweli wengi wamechoka. Kwa sababu ya nini? Angalia kwa mfano mradi ambao ulipata kuanzishwa na Rais William Ruto wa Hustler Fund, angalau kuweza kuinua Mkenya. Sasa hizi umerudi chini sana, mikopo ipiani kwa sana, licha ya wengi kutolipa mkopo, lakini utapata kwamba wale ambao hajalipa ni asilimia ndogo sana. Unaona, angalia mama mboga, mtu ambaye ni wa chini pale, anahisi kana wametengwa kwa sababu haoni kana kwamba ile serikali ambayo aliweza kuichagua inamsaidia kwa njia fulani. Kwa hivyo tunataka atoe kusema kwamba ni mtu fulani, lakini can we get a leader ambaye anaweza leta badiliko katika nchi yetu ya Kenya? A leader ambaye ataweza kuinua uchumi wetu Kenya, si mambo na kwenda kutafuta mikopo nje. Sababu sasa unapata kwamba uchumi wetu uko chini sana. Kwa sababu ya nini? Angalia katika sekta ya ukulima, hakuna mbolea. Wale wakulima hawapati yale masomo ya kuweza jinsi ambavyo wanastahili kupanda. Hawajapatiwa mafunzo walezo kwamba katika mwezi kama huu hali ya anga iko hivi na hapa na pale. So we need a leader ambaye anaweza akaenda kwenye ground, ambaye watu wanamuelewa. Sababu unajua umezungumzia kwamba kiongozi unapoingia, wale ambao waliweza kukupigia debe na ukaingia kule unawasahau. And one thing that Kenya tunakosa kabisa kama viongozi ni kwamba unapata wengi wao wanasahau wale ambao walifanya nini kuwainua. Sababu huyu kiongozi ambaye tunampigia kura ni kiongozi ambaye amekuwa nasi hapa nyumbani. Tumempigia kura, tumempiga kelele pale kwa barabara and all that, akachukua. Lakini sasa sisi ambao tulipata sauti apate kuchukua, ametusahau. Harudi nyumbani, anatoa ahadi, na unapata kwamba wana maneno mazuri sana wakati ambapo wanataka uongozi. Wanataka nitafanya hili, lakini unapata anapofika kule anasahau kila kitu. So sioni kama wewe ndio njia ya uongozi ambao unastahili kuwa. Uongozi ni uongozi ambao unaweza ukaelewa yule mwananchi, ukamfanyia yale mambo fulani, yale ambayo uliahidi, ukayatenda.
How then is this going to be possible? Kwa sababu vijana wamekuwa conversation on this, na wakiekwa kwa conversation it's on chukueni kura, mpige kura, but not on leadership perspective. But then if the youths come together and decide, okay, now we want to have our own leader, we want to front our own leader, that's not possible because of the 50% plus one vote that is required. So it becomes a challenge for accountable leaders to get positions, because it stems from the veterans in the industry, the veterans in politics, the political elite who have mass influence. When you know weledi wa siasa, so they know tunafaa kwenda hivi, tunafaa kwenda hivi, and incorporating those competent leaders in their system becomes a challenge. So how then do we get to incorporate them in this when the system is already favoring the political elite? How do we get to involve them?
Asante sana. Isinga alikuwa ni hiyo 50+ ambao tunasema we can have our own leader, kwa sababu wale ambao tunachagua pale tuone mahali ambapo wanasaidia vijana wengi sana. Angalia the other day tulikuwa na mgomo. Kuna wale watu ambao unajua wakati ambapo Kenya tuna come up with the budget, lazima tuangalie mambo tofauti sana pale. Lazima tuangalie sekta ya elimu, sekta ya afya na mambo kama hayo. So kama si mambo na hiyo 50+ na wale watu ambao wana ueledi, wana umaarufu katika siasa, we can have our own leader, because I believe sisi ndio tunaelewa mahali ambapo kiatu kinatufinya. Wakati ambapo maandamano yanafanyika, yule ambaye yuko kule juu hataelewa. Ni kama the other day walisema kwamba hakuna tuitioning and all that, but tunapata wale watu ambao wako kule juu, watoto wao wanafunzwa pale nyumbani. Are we getting that? So if there is a possibility kwamba tuwe na kiongozi wetu ambaye ni kijana, mtu ambaye ameelewa, amekula ugali vizuri na maji, anaelewa what life is, I think there can be a change in the country, because hizi vijana wamechoka sana and it's very evident. Hebu angalia kwenye street vile watu wananini, kijana mpaka anasema nipige risasi, kumaanisha he has already given up. He has already given up. So I think waelewe tu vijana, let's have a leadership ambayo kiongozi anaelewa vijana. Sasa hizi vijana wana kazi, na kile ambacho kinachangia unapata kwamba wengi wao wanakunywa madawa za kulevya, wanajinyonga na mambo kama, it's because they are jobless. And you'll find that pesa zipo, lakini unapata kwamba hizi fedha hawakuji pale kwenye mashinani na kujaribu kuchukua vijana. Naamini kwamba kiongozi mmoja akija akanipatia labda shilingi labda 50,000 nikafungua biashara fulani, ikikuwa sitakuwa na ugumu wa kumsaidia yule mtu mwingine pia. Nitamsaidia kwa sababu ya nini? Nimesaidiwa pia mimi, na through that utapata kwamba jamii inainuka. So I believe we have leaders hapa ambao ni vijana ambao wanaweza kusimama vizuri, wamaliza shule, wamesoma pale, lakini unapata hiyo nafasi kupata kule ni balaa sana. Ni balaa sana.
All right, now do you believe that Raila Odinga on his grave will affect the 2027 general election?
Unajua unapoangalia uongozi wake ambao walikuwa vile ambao walikuwa wanapigania uhuru, kila mmoja, kila Mkenya akisema kwamba kuna mtu anastahili kupigwa risasi ama maandamano yafanyike kwa amani. Hakuna siku hata moja Raila Odinga amesema kwamba maandamano yafanyike na watu wapigwe maana mambo kama hayo. Kwa hivyo kuna vile itaadhiri, lakini itaadhiri katika njia ambayo ni positive in the katika mwaka wa 2027. So impact ambayo aliacha, ile legacy ambayo aliacha inastahili kuendelezwa na watu wengine. Sasa hizi tumeona ndugu yake Oburu Odinga ako katika anajaribu kuhamasisha. Jana walikuwa Mombasa wakijaribu kuhamasisha umuhimu wa kuweza kuensure kwamba the party stands very strong. Are you together? Unajua kile ambacho kinastahili kueleweka ni kwamba Raila Odinga alikuwa ni kinara wa chama cha ODM na amepigania hiyo chama, na ndio maana hata watu wake wamekufa na yeye. Yani if you saw how people were crying in the Kasarani in the viewing of the body, it was very evident that we have lost a leader ambaye alikuwa ameleta badiliko kubwa katika nchi yetu ya Kenya. So that gap, we need someone who can fill that gap. Lakini itakuwa ni balaa sana. But pia kuna uwezekano kwamba kama watu wanaweza reflect maisha yake yote, vile ambavyo alikuwa anapigania kuhusu uchumi, haki za watu, kila mambo kama hayo, wanahabari pia kupata ile freedom of covering the stories na kuleta kwa ukweli pasipo to have the bias in information and all that, tunazaenda vizuri sana. Kwa hivyo anaweza akadhiri kura za mwaka 2027 lakini in a very positive way. Yeah.
Right. In a positive way, favoring Ruto or favoring the opposition? That's the question. In a positive way, favoring Ruto or favoring the opposition?
Favoring the opposition and as well unajua ukiangalia Ruto alifanya handshake pamoja na Raila na kukaa pale na kukaa na ile handshake, akaanza kufanya kazi kwa pamoja pale, but alipokuwa pamoja na Raila Odinga bado hakuwa anaelewa msimamo wake ni upi, kwa sababu nakumbuka kabla ya kifo chake watu walikuwa wanashangaa kwamba msimamo wake ni upi, mustakabali wake ni upi katika mwaka ambao utakuja. Kwa hivyo it's not about favoring ni kufavor watu wote cutting across.
Right. I thought we would go further than that, but muda wetu umetupa kisogo. Kiswahili kikubwa. Just as you make your final remarks, you can pick one story, a story of your choice from either of the newspapers, and then give your remarks on the same even as we conclude.
Yeah, maybe talking about the Daily Nation on the front page, the headline pale ni buried alive. Tunaona kwamba we are still mourning about the toll ambayo imezidi kuongezeka mpaka 30, na kati ya wale watu ambao wameweza kuangushwa pale na because of the uporomoko wa ardhi ambao uliweza kufanyika katika ile kaunti ya Marakwet. Kwa hivyo ni jambo ambalo kwa kweli linahuzunisha kwa vijana, kwa wananchi wote, kwa wale watu ambao wamepoteza familia zao, kazi zao na mambo kama hayo. But kile ambacho ningependa kusema kuhusiana na hayo yote ni kwamba serikali iweze kuingilia kati kuweza kuhamasisha umuhimu wa kuweza kupanda miti. Na pia wale wananchi ambao wanaishi karibu na milima, mahali ambapo kuna uboromoko kidogo hivyo, serikali jaribu kutafuta mbinu ya kuweza kuwahamisha pale na kuweka katika sehemu ambayo iko bora, kwa sababu kila mmoja anataka mwenzake aweze kuishi maisha fulani. Kwa hivyo kama sasa angalia 14 learners among the victims, na hawa 14 ambao wamehusika katika wale 30 ambao wamekufa ni wale ambao unapata miongoni wao walikuwa wanajiandaa kwa mitihani, kwa sababu mitihani ilianza jana, somo la kwanza la Kiingereza paper 1. Wengine wao utapata ambao wamepata kuaga ni hasa angalia unapata kwamba ni kiongozi ambaye alikuwa ingia pale afanye mtihani apite vizuri awe kiongozi fulani, lakini sasa angalia. So tujaribu kuhamasisha serikali iweze kuingilia kati kwa maisha kila mmoja, apande miti. Those who are living close to the places where there is a possibility of landslides wapate kunini pale, watafutiwe sehemu ambayo ni nzuri. Yeah.
All right. Now, as we conclude, I'd love to highlight a story still on the Daily Nation that is on page 4 and 5. I think this is the business of the Daily Nation inside Kenya's unlicensed health facilities in still treating patients, the middle part of the Daily Nation. So you can read more on that, and the hospitals that have been shut down for illegalities or for incompetence, that is on the Daily Nation. Now that brings us to the end of KUTV Biashara Tuesday on this 4th day of November 2025. Remember, it's less than 60 days to Christmas, so start preparing those Christmas trees and preparing for parties. Also remember to keep yourself safe as we enter the festivities. Don't drink and drive. We don't want more accidents in this season. That brings us to the end of this. Thank you so much for choosing our discussions today. Until next time, it's bye from us.